check. Testing.
Test 1, 2. Can you hear me all right?
Testing. So this is going to be the third and probable final chapter of the cargo ship, so thank you all for joining us. Just to do a quick recap on the characters, Naru.
Hi, my name's Naru. I am a big ball of fire and a ball of fun, and I am sitting on the crow's nest. I just got pelted with, I'm pretty sure it was fireball or cannon. Either way, I am ready to go and shoot back at these people who are trying to aim my friend Spike.
Okay, and welcome Nyx.
Tabaxi Bard, hanging out near the helm, completely struck by this crazy ship that just came out and kind of in shock a little bit. Hasn't quite had time to react. I don't know if I've been hit by anything.
I don't
Not
believe
sure if
so.
that happened.
There's been fiery cross bolts or ballista bolts just kind of raining down from this sky ship coming down at you, but you have not been hit. No, I think Naru did get hit, and so did Spike, the little Modron sentry droid. But Volac.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, I'm a little gnome warlock. If I remember correctly, I don't sense that this is actually Cthulhu, right?
Nope. I believe actually Volac was actually still down below deck and coming up onto the deck last game,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Basically, Volac, your friends are here.
I don't know if those are my friends.
yeah, so you'd be running up onto deck, and there's still a storm going on too, so the ship is kind of rolling with the waves, but you'd just be coming basically up towards the top of the deck. Tabby.
Hi, my name's Tabby. I am a Dragonborn Barbarian, and I was just here to have a friendly chat with the captain, do a little bit of fighting, a little bit of betting, enjoying some sun. I was hanging out in the crow's nest for a little bit, came back down, was chilling out, and then all of a sudden this giant ship shows up out of nowhere and starts firing flaming harpoons at us. It's just
Are
not
you
a good
still
time.
hungover, Tabby?
I may or may not still be drunk, and that's irrelevant.
Barbarians can just fight just as well drunk as normal.
It's a drunken master barbarian. Leave me alone.
That's fantastic. Okay, and Adrik.
Hello, I am Adrik, a human sun soul monk. Up on the deck, nearly avoiding these flaming ballista bolts that are raining down from above, as we also have undead below. In our previous episode, we discovered that the lower deck in the cargo hold is in fact filled with hundreds of zombies and undead, and supposedly a princess from a nearby island that we are assuming is probably a Yanti.
Yep. And so, if I remember everyone's positions correctly from last week, Naru, you were surviving up in the crow's nest. You're putting out flames that have been caught on the sails. Nyx, you're back over by the helm. You're seeing all these ballista bolts, these fire spears launching down from the sky, and you see this ship descending upon you, almost right on top, as everybody rolled fairly poorly on perception checks, and they didn't see until it was too late. Volac, you're stumbling up to the top deck. I think this is actually early morning, if I remember correctly. It's basically dawn.
Yes.
And then Tabby and Adrik, you were both on deck, just kind of realizing what's going on, and the crew around you is bustling about, trying to take care of the fires and put out the spears that have all lodged themselves within the rigging and the deck and everything. And then for anyone who passes by, there is this Modron just lying crumpled in a ball on the deck, just kind of skittering down as the ship leans from side to side. So everybody, I would like you to start off by just rolling initiative, please. I'll open the tracker.
Damn.
Okay, so Nyx.
Oh God! Wait, I have advantage on initiative. Fuck!
Good start to the game.
Yeah,
There we go.
7 is better.
So Nyx, what was Nyx's bonus?
Is it dexterity for initiative bonus?
Yes,
Okay, so I got a 7.
7 total.
7 total.
Okay, and then Adrik is in the tracker. And Tabby, there's 2 of you. Did you roll the 7?
Yeah, the 7's better, so I changed it in the tracker.
Okay, perfect. And then Naru, what was yours?
I have a +1, so a 19.
19. Okay, and then who am I missing? I'm missing Volac. Volac
I got a
rolled
9.
a 9. Okay, so I'm just gonna have one initiative for the crew. They go last.
Oh boy!
Oh man!
And then I'm gonna
no.
have an initiative for the bad guys.
They put salt in their eyes.
And I'm just gonna leave them at an 11. Okay. So let me sort the tracker here in a moment. Okay, so starting off, Naru, up in the top of the crow's nest. What are you doing?
I was putting out flames, but at the beginning of my initiative, I'm just like, okay, need to get these guys back. And so I'm going to cast my Firestorm spell.
Okay.
And it's going to slow their movement and go to my Firestorm.
That's gonna look epic as hell.
Ahem. Range 300 feet,
Fireball.
20-foot radius, a 400-foot cylinder centered on a point within range. The creature in the cylinder must make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage, 4d6 fire damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful one, and then I get an additional 3 on the fire damage.
Okay.
Let's go.
So this ship is about the same size as yours, so there's no really way with an area attack storm spell it can really dodge itself out of the way as it's a ship. So go ahead and just roll your damage straight up, and I just put a little square to represent the area.
21 fire damage and 14 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so that is a total of 32, if my math is correct.
Yes.
Okay, so this ship is probably maybe 50 feet above you with these tendrils kind of slithering down towards the masts and the upper sails of the ship, and then you see all of these little ballista crevices, these holes coming from the bottom of the ship, just launching these flaming spears down. What does this look like as Naru's casting Firestorm?
So I'm kind of pissed off right now because I just got hit with fire, which didn't do much. And then I got hit with the force of it. I'm slightly wounded. Okay.
What is your HP at? How much damage did you take?
I took 16 damage from that.
Okay.
So I'm at. I need to recalculate it, but I'm originally 50 minus 16, and so I just get pissed off. I was putting out these flames, and then I'm just like, and I do Firestorm, and like this giant hails of fire that they look like asteroids coming down from above, but probably not quite so devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of pelt into the side of the ship, and I think probably there's quite a few dents in it, and probably those dents where they got hit, there's flames that are starting to shoot out and kind of start burning on the side of the ship. Probably got the sail. It probably went through the sail, caught the sail on fire, and probably dented the deck, probably starting flames throughout this ship. That is my attack, and then I'm going to burn one of my sorcery points and use it for fire resistance. So I have full fire resistance. Then am I allowed to also burn some spell slots this round, or should I wait till the next to do that?
If it's just kind of burning those to get sorcery points, I think you can just kind of do that in the background. So just keep track of that on your own.
Okay.
We'll go to Adrik next. Adrik, this ship again, it's about 50 feet above the top of the sail, so that's probably a total of like 120 feet up above the deck. And again, the tendrils, these purple looking tentacles slithering down towards the ship masts. The flames kind of are getting patted out by the other crew members around you. What do you do?
I think I'm gonna start by trying to find the captain.
Okay. Yeah, just roll a perception check.
Perception 19.
Okay, you do see him emerging from his captain's quarters at the back of the ship, and he seems to be shouting out orders to his first and second mates, the orcs. The first mate is up actually by Nick's up at the helm, and he's cranking the wheel hard to starboard. The second mate, Ciara, she's running out towards the crew members on the deck, trying to shout orders on how to manage the rigging to put out the fires and prevent the sails from being torn. And the captain seems to be shouting out orders to do something with the masts as well, as it's common knowledge that if you can tear down the mast from the ship, it significantly slows down movement. So he seems to be shouting to his crew orders to do something with that. But he's
I'm
not
out.
too far. He's just ahead of you.
I can't hear Michael.
He's going to ask the
Yeah, I
captain
can't
if he
hear you.
knows anything
Kenzie, are you
about
talking?
No, I'm not talking, but Michael is.
Okay. The picture was lighting up, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he's going to
I
ask the
can't hear
captain if
you.
he knows. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
Rebecca,
I can
try
Becca,
also
try
hear you.
logging out, logging back in.
Yeah, hit
It's
the.
me or Michael.
Well, we can all hear
You're
him.
the only one who cannot hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Perfect. Okay, go ahead.
So
Weird.
he's probably going to call over to the captain if he knows anything about what the hell is going on with that ship.
So he would just call back to you and says, "We're under attack. Get to your battle station."
How far can the cannons launch?
If they are elevated up, you could do so. It would just take it would take you a whole turn basically to maneuver the cannon to an upright position. It would be a little difficult for it to shoot directly up into the air, but you can see that ship is descending still.
And you said it was about how far away from the mast?
It's about 50 feet from the top of the ship and about 120 feet from the deck of the ship.
Okay. How high up is the mast?
The mast is about 80 feet up.
I climb it.
Okay, just dashing straight up.
Yep.
What does this look like as you take to the skies?
I feel like he would just jump up on the riggings and just start climbing, and he'd probably use a step of the wind just to get there even faster. So that's a bonus action with key.
Okay, and that basically lets you get up there with still an attack.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see. Being up at the top of the mast, how far away is it then? You said
It's about 50 feet.
50 feet. He prepares to attack with some radiant sunbeams, but otherwise holds his action.
Okay, so if you took your move and bonus, your attack action you can hold until it triggers, correct? So what is the trigger?
For the tentacles or the ship itself to get within range.
Okay, and what's your range?
30 feet.
Okay, perfect. So on its turn, the ship does descend down. It triggers your attack, so go ahead and make those.
All right. Let's see. Radiant Sunbolt, first attack. So that's 13. Second attack, 26.
And just a side note, it's still in Firestorm, and it will make it difficult terrain until the end of my next turn, so it will be slowed.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. So that is 5 damage.
13 and 26.
Yeah, so the 26 or 25?
There's two there. There's the 12, which should be 13. I want to say.
Where's the extra +1 coming from?
For whatever reason, my character sheet here is not adding the extra proficiency to a +3, so it's only the 2.
Okay. So either way, the over 20 is going to hit the ship. The other one basically just kind of ricochet off of its armor, or the tendrils just kind of block it and doesn't soak up any damage into the ship itself. The ship begins to descend. It does kind of slow as it's under the hailstorm of these meteorites. However, it still continues to drop down. So instead of dropping 60 feet, it drops down 30 for half movement. And that puts it to be right on top of the ship about. And then you would have these figures starting to kind of slide down the tentacles. Let me pull up their minions. One moment. It's so long since I prepped this game that I think they're all tucked down really far. I might just re-upload them. But yeah, you see probably about a dozen of these figures, these humanoid-looking aliens starting to come down the tendrils and kind of try to launch themselves into the rigging.
Elephant.
The ship, as that is happening, the ship does not launch another volley of ballistas, however. It just continues to descend. Oops.
Oh, I see. I think these fools think that they can loophole their way out of the Kraken eating them because they're flying. They're not in the sea. I guess that's smart.
Then we just got to put them in the water. That's
good
all.
idea.
How we
The Kraken
fix
hasn't
this.
showed up yet, though.
Okay. So. Okay, so next up is Volac.
I can see the figures, right?
Yeah, looking up, you can see the tendrils are getting closer and closer to the ship, and some of them will kind of latch onto the masts and the rigging. And these figures, they look like kind of green humanoids with pointy ears, long warrior braided hair, stuff like that. And they are sliding down the tendrils into the masts.
Okay. And these tendrils could be... They look organic, right?
Yes. It definitely, now that you have a decent look at it, it definitely looks very Cthulhu-esque. However, it's not something that you've ever seen before. It might be something like Cthulhu is such a huge concept, even that there could be so many different offshoots or impacts of Cthulhu in the universe, and this definitely looks like some sort of spaceship from a different dimension, even.
Yeah, and I'm not sensing anything pertaining to Cthulhu with this particular...
No, nothing with your relationship to it. You don't sense.
Okay.
It's similar but unrelated.
All right, so I'm going to thunderclap or shatter. I mean, I'm going to shatter the figures that I can see.
Okay, and what's the radius for shatter?
Let me look that. It is 10-foot radius. So there. Wait. So you said they got 30 feet closer. So I don't think shatter would actually get to them.
Yeah. So they were about 130, 120 feet up. They descended down to about 90 feet, I guess that would be, and
Okay,
so they're
so
just
I can
right on top.
Blast them.
Okay, and then
So
you're targeting one of the warriors.
So it's going to be agonies. Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, actually, I'm gonna try to take out one of the tentacles that they're sliding down on.
Okay.
So I'm gonna agonizing blast, which is a pact boon of Eldritch Blast.
Mm-hmm.
It will do. I
think it's like 1d10 plus your
1d10 plus 5.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, so roll your attack, and this will just be against the ship, so you need to beat a 14.
Okay. Dang it.
You don't have any bonuses on this?
Oh, no, I do.
Say plus 5?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I have plus 2 proficiency bonuses too with
Yeah, so yeah, that Volac would definitely hit. So you can go ahead and roll your damage as you chop through this tentacle with your own purple, I think. What does your Eldritch Blast look like?
14 damage. Yeah, it's purple.
Right on.
It's purple. So that's for the first blast. 14. And then I don't hit the second one.
Okay. So what does this look like as you sever one of the tentacles? I imagine one of the warriors just kind of falls down into the sea just below.
One of them should get like in the Titanic.
It's the propeller guy.
So like the tension from the tentacles on both sides kind of snap back, and then the minion that was on it just kind of yelps out and falls in there, and I kind of and then I try to hit the other guy with my other missile, but it doesn't hit
Yeah,
him
it just misses
as
wide.
he's falling down.
Very nice. Now, Nyx, back at the helm, what are you doing? You're seeing all this happening.
Dang, I don't think I'm in range for anybody because the spells I have reach up to 60 feet. I don't think that that wouldn't reach them, right?
They're about 80 feet up. If you were to climb the rigging a little bit, you could kind of jump onto the ropes and try to climb up just enough to get in range.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and climb up and do that.
Awesome.
Do I need to roll for dexterity or anything?
Nope, not unless the ship hits a wave or anything. Just take your movement to climb up. It's not difficult.
Climb up to get a little closer. How many more tentacles have stuck down?
Probably 50 or so. I mean, there's like basically unlimited tentacles.
Oh my god! And how are there? Can I see other of these green things coming down?
Yeah, you can see there's more kind of coming out from these little porthole gate things within the ship at the base of the tentacles, and there's so far about now 11 left that have descended down the tentacles and kind of jumped into the top of the ship and the rigging, but you see more behind on the way.
Cloud of daggers. On the closest bunch of enemies I can see. So it's like a 5-foot cubed area, and it's going to be slashing damage if this lands.
Okay, go ahead and roll your. Is it an attack or a saving throw for them?
It looks like it's oh, come on. Sorry. I forgot I can look it up here and roll 20, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I forgot the spell. What was it?
Cloud of daggers. It's not here.
Okay, I'll just Google it real quick.
It's just 44, and then I think
it's probably a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cloud of Daggers. It is concentration range 60 feet. No, they just take 44 slashing damage when they enter the spell's area for the first time. So I think it just automatically hits.
Sweet.
Yeah, so,
okay,
so
let me
roll
damage.
44.
That's a lot.
And I don't think I have any bonuses on that for damage.
If it's a spell damage, I don't think it would be. 13.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so one of these green figures kind of raises its hands, trying to block itself, as all of a sudden these spinning blades start surrounding it, chipping at its shoulders, opening wounds, and causing this kind of dark blood to kind of seep out through its tunic. But it's able to kind of steady himself in the ropes, and does not seem to actually die. But he has got many open wounds. So, you moved. That's your spell. Do you have anything else that you wanted to do? Bonus actions?
I can cast a cantrip, right?
Yep, as long as it's a bonus action.
Vicious Mockery is a bonus. Oh, okay, so it's only an action.
Yeah. Is
Is
Bardic Inspiration a bonus action?
Yes.
I believe so. So I can see Naru's flame, and her hair is on fire, and so she's like the closest thing I can see that stands out. So I'm gonna cast that. I'm gonna give her some Bardic Inspiration. A D8 for any type of roll.
Awesome.
That'll
So,
be my turn.
so next up is Tabby. Down on the deck, you're seeing this happening. You're seeing these warriors kind of descending down onto the ship. What do you do?
Is there any that have landed on the deck yet?
Nope. Though it looks like the next wave is coming down.
So I'm gonna run over to the nearest tentacle, and I want to break it off, so that way the biggest wave of people that are coming down will land in the rough rocking waters instead.
Okay. Yeah. So then one of these tendrils is kind of coming down, slithering down the side of the mast. You can just jump up and hit it with, if you wish.
Yep, and I'm going to do. I am going to do great weapons master feat for it to try to deal additional damage.
Perfect.
And that's a 23 to hit.
That's a bunch of damage.
With 26 points of damage to the tentacle holding the most people.
Nice. So you see that it kind of yank back, recoiling back into the ship, dislodging another 3 of the warriors as they begin to fall. Can you roll a percentile die for me, please?
Sure. 51.
Okay, so one of the warriors clatters down onto the deck, having fallen from the area. You can roll, let's see, that would be about 80 feet. So roll 8d6 for me, if you could.
8d6?
Yep, 80 feet falling damage.
Jeez.
31 points of damage. 34, sorry. 34 points
Nice.
of falling damage.
Okay, there's a wet crunch as this body hits the deck, and you see
Especially
this.
that's a squelching type sound as
Question.
it just.
Question.
Yes.
Does the body bounce?
No, it does not. It kind of hits the ground, and there's this slurch sound as if the innards have all been shaken up. And then the other 2 kind of just missed the railing and hit down into the waves below, disappearing from sight.
Cool. I'd like to go to another tentacle and use my second action to do that same thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. That's a 17 to hit that tentacle.
Okay, that'll hit as well. And you chop this other tentacle, and it recoils back up and dislodges. We'll say another 2 of them. Go ahead and roll another percentile die for me.
90.
Okay, so these 2 also hit the deck. Roll 8d6 again for me. As these 2 bodies fall.
8d6 again?
Yep. They're falling from the
Tabby
mast.
saying you let the bodies hit
27.
the floor.
Okay.
Right.
Tabby, just as you rage, just let the bodies hit the floor.
Of course. Next up is the crew. The crew is going to do multiple different things. So starting off with the first mate in the back, he's going to try to take evasive maneuvers with the ship. Nix, because you were with him last, can you roll 1d20 for me? He's going to have a +5 to his roll.
13.
So he is able to move the ship so it redirects. Instead of going starboard, he tugs it to port and he tries to steer away from this ship as it's coming down towards them again. And then that brings a little bit more space away from the next wave that's coming up. Now, Tabby, you are the one who is on the deck closest to Ciara. Can you roll a 1d20 for her? And she will also have a +5 as she's trying to rally the crew.
Total of 18.
Okay. Now the crew up in the rigging, they respond to her orders, and she begins to. They begin to tighten up the sails, removing the threat of the fire from spreading and burning through their sails. They be able to adjust the mast and the rigging so it kind of shifts and turns into the turn, giving them a little bit of extra momentum. And then the rest of the crew is patting out these flames on the deck. And then for the captain, I'm going to have Volac, actually, since you are pretty close to where he's at right now, having just come up. Because you didn't climb up onto the rigging, right?
Yeah, I did. I stayed down.
Yeah. So you'd be pretty close to the captain. So go ahead and roll 1d20 for him, and he's going to get a +8 as he's guiding more of the crew that are still on the deck. So that is a 15. So he's shouting for them to get to their battle stations, and you see these grizzled dragonborn and lizard folk and a couple of the orcs all rushing over to where these ballistae they have, and some of them actually lift up the ballistae off with a couple like helping all together and aim it up into the sky, and you see a couple of these bolts launch upwards into the ship. I will have Michael, if you can roll 3d20, and then they'll get a +5 on their attack against the ship.
All right. Let's see. Let me make sure keyboard is on here. All right. /3d20.
And then we'll just add 5 to each of the separate rolls.
Yep.
So
Nat 20.
Nat 20. So the
17 and 10.
The third shot we'll go for first, the Dragonborn, and then there's also 2 lizard folk that kind of lift it off its hinge and aim it up when the Dragonborn pulls the trigger a little prematurely, and the bolt just kind of sails up past the ship into the sky and disappears from sight. The other 2 are manned by soldiers and sailors who are a little bit better trained. Maybe it's because they have 2 Dragonborns who are just super buff holding the bazooka or the ballista, but they get a dead-on shot straight up into the center of the ship, and it goes through the door where the opening is, taking 2 of the warriors that are about to come out, nails them in the chest and disappears inside, doing additional damage. Can you roll 2d10 for that shot? And that's the critical, so +20.
2d10 plus 20.
Yes, for the crit.
30.
30
Jeez.
total damage, so that's 107. Nice. So that one actually, again, it goes through 2 of the warriors, skewering them back, and it disappears into the hole through the door. And you see this kind of light flash from the opening. You're not sure what it hit, but it looks like there's an electrical explosion of some sort. The third shot is that 12 plus 5 is going to be a 17 for a hit as well. Go ahead and roll 2d10 for that damage as well.
All right. 2d10 for another 18 damage.
Very nice. Okay, so that is the ship's turn. Now it is Naru.
So after seeing people fall into the water from Tabby's on-point attack, my character realizes just how much she doesn't want to do that. And so I'm going to cast Fly on myself.
Okay.
Ooh.
Added protection.
How
And
many
I'm
people
going
can you
to...
cast Fly on?
What was that?
How many people can you cast Fly on?
Unfortunately, only 1 at a time.
Okay.
You're looking at me with jealousy. I know, Adrik. I know.
I just had an idea.
And then I'm going to use Quicken Spell to cast Firebolt as a cantrip, and I believe I got Bardic Inspiration on that, correct?
Yep.
Hey! So I cast a d20 for ranged spell attack. Also, I'm casting it as a twined spell, which means it's going to hit.
I believe you can only use meta magic at once per turn, basically. So if you're quickening the spell, I don't know if you can twin it also. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's one.
I don't think there's any
There
rules.
are some that you are able to combine.
It's a cantrip. Yeah.
Take a look here.
Pretty sure I can. Okay, well, this is happening.
You can only use one meta magic option on a spell when you cast it, unless noted. So you're doing those on 2 different spells, or no? It's the same spell with Firebolt, right?
Yeah.
So if you're quickening the Firebolt, then you can't twin it at the same time. That'd be using 2 meta magic options on the same spell. But
okay.
who are you shooting it at? Are you shooting at one of the warriors, or are you shooting it at the ship, or what are you doing?
Is there somebody who's gotten kind of on the boat near me?
Well, yeah, the one that Nyx just cast Cloud of Daggers at, he was getting pretty close to you as he's running across this mast, and he kind of is flailing as these daggers are cutting him from all directions.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna shoot it straight at him.
Okay.
And that's an 18, and then I have a +7, and I think did I wait on the inspiration, or do I have to use it now?
I think you have to say before the roll, but
Oh.
I would say
No, inspiration is typically after the roll because that's why you're re-rolling.
Yeah.
Is how inspiration works.
no.
Whatever.
What about bardic inspiration though?
You can
Bardic
apply
inspiration is after you roll, but before you know what the outcome is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So do you want to, or do you want to risk your 18 plus bonus?
I have an 18 and I have a +7 on ranged spell attacks.
So do you want to add bardic inspiration or just go with the 25?
I think I'm okay with a 25.
Okay, roll damage. You hit him, center of mass shot to the chest.
And I get 2d10 damage as I am over 5.
Okay. So that is an additional 14. Okay, so you nail him in the chest. His armor blackens from the scorch marks, and flame kind of splatters up into his face a little bit, causing him to wince. You see he's kind of flattened. He doesn't have a nose. They look kind of like Voldemort, with just two slits for noses, except he's got these pointy ears and this kind of top knot braid of black hair. He doesn't seem to be dead. He is not down yet.
Oh, dang. Okay, as my last for movement, I'm going to go kind of straight up to try to see on top of the deck.
Okay,
The other...
so what's your fly speed?
I think 50 feet. I believe we had this conversation last game.
Yeah, so if
Fly.
so you were able to get past above the other ship if you want, and from the top, you can see that there is no real top deck. If you can imagine in the picture that the tentacles just kind of go up into it, and then that upper portion is just kind of a wooden looking hull, but there's no entrances or openings or nothing like the ship that you're on where you can just be standing on the top deck. It looks like everything's
What about the
inside.
cockpit?
You do see that there would be kind of like a Millennium Falcon-ish looking cockpit area in the back where you can see through like a viewport looking thing. There's more of these aliens behind it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Okay, next up is Adrik. You are up there in the rigging and you're seeing that there's, I think by my count, you killed 5 that have gone down to the deck or into the sea, so there's probably still another 7 up here.
Alright. We're gonna take some shots at this thing. So first attack. 21.
Okay, and which one?
Second
Are you shooting a new one or the one that Naru and Nyx had been blasting?
Basically going to like shoot at whatever ones he sees. Possibly if he can just like outright destroy a tentacle, it's causing them to fall.
Okay, well these are the ones that are in the rigging. The next ones that are coming down are still on the tentacles.
Yeah, if they're in the rigging, then well, actually, how many are on the tentacles? How many are in the rigging?
So the rigging, the first wave, there are 7 left in the rigging, and then for the tentacles, there are actually no, because you only killed 5, so there would be 10 left in the rigging, and there'd be 9 left on the tentacles coming down.
Okay, so if we can damage the tentacles enough to just knock them dead.
Okay, so you're targeting the tentacles, so both of those will hit. So that is a total of 14 damage, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And we'll throw one more bolt at it. It's 10, so I'm assuming that last one does not hit.
No, unfortunately. Okay, and as you sever one of these tentacles, another 2 of the Gith go sailing down into the water. Okay, next up, Tabby. How many had fallen onto the deck? It was 3 of them, correct?
It's my turn. I thought Volac went next.
No, it's the bad guy's turn. But I think 3 of them.
Okay.
So 2 I think fell into the water, and then 3 of them had hit the deck, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and took 20-something points.
Yeah, so they took
one
the first one
splattered.
Yeah, the first
and then
one
the other
was 34.
Yeah.
The other 2 took 27. So these
27.
2 kind of get slowly to their feet as if they just took the beating and had the wind knocked out of them. But they both charge you from the back, and They will get advantage on their attack because they have buddies. What is your armor?
15.
Okay, so yeah, 23 and a 24 to hit.
Yep, they both hit.
Okay, and they have these kind of pike-looking spears, but as soon
Are
as...
they?
Go ahead.
Sorry, are they doing pack tactics or are they getting me by surprise? Because I
No.
cannot be surprised.
No, when there's multiples attacking, they're going as basically a group. They give each other advantage, basically kind of like
Tactic.
Flanking.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's only when it's one of their soldiers. So two of the
Yep.
same, they have to be in a unit to be getting that. But yeah, they stab you with basically just a spear, but as soon as it touches you, there's a pulse of lightning and it kind of zaps through your body as well. And so you take, actually, sorry, that's supposed to be 1d8 each, so, and then I'll just roll the lightning damage. Except I did the wrong dice. Sorry.
Might have to see about stealing me one of those spears.
So the spears are the d8s, so that's 9 points of piercing damage, and then the d6s are the lightning damage, so you have 8 points of lightning, so that's a total of 17. I don't know if you're raging, I don't remember.
I am not, because I wasn't sure if I'd come face to face with anything, so I do take the full 17 points of damage.
Yep. And as you would turn, you see that these gaunt-looking aliens, they're basically like a Githyanki looking thing, if you're familiar with that. They look beat to crap, but they're still like trying to jump on you and seeing if they can take you down. Up in the rafters of the ship, the other soldiers are beginning to try to descend down into the rigging. Some of them strike down at the sailors, and there's a couple battles start to erupt. Two of them basically run at Adrik and try to throw their spears at you as well. What's your defense?
This should be fun. 17.
Okay, so that is going to be 2 hits. And then they do the same to...
Don't forget my special ability of deflect a missile.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go for it, the attack rolls are going to hit your armor, but the damage is 4 on the first and 3 on the second.
Let's see. So it's 1d10 plus monk level. The monk level alone takes care of the damage of the heavier hits, essentially. So he's going to catch the spear and just kind of like wave like his finger like, no, 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 before launching it back at them.
Okay. And this is for both spears or just one spear?
Just the one.
Okay, so the second one you're still able to deflect? Are you still able to deflect the other spear? Or is it only for one attack?
No, take the damage of the second spear.
Okay, so the first one you catch, and then the other one kind of nicks you, and you feel this zap on your side, and then you throw the spear back. I think, do you have to roll a damage, or does it just automatically do his damage to
I
him?
make an attack.
Okay.
So 1d27.
Yep, that's gonna hit. Yeah, is it the same damage, or do you roll again? So it's 1d6.
So you said the spear is 1d6?
Yeah, the spear, the lightning is 1d6, the spear is 1d8.
Okay. So that's 1d6 plus... the spear is 1d8.
Mm-hmm. So just 2 dice,
Plus
1d8 and plus 1d6.
2.
And pretty much unless you roll double ones, then you're going to kill this guy, so...
And then...
Yep, so...
1, 2... Just for that extra, 1d6 for that lightning. So there.
Yeah, so as you throw this back, it just kind of lodges into his neck, and you see this kind of zap of lightning go up, reflected through the backs of his eyes, and he sails off of the rigging, descending down out of view. You're not sure if he hits the deck or the water, but he's gone. So that is your full turn, except for move, I think.
That was a reaction.
Oh, gotcha. You're right. So it's the rest of the guy's turn. So that first wave is beginning to descend down. There's one more guy still kind of combating you. The other 8 of them are beginning to fight the soldiers or the sailors that are in the riggings and the masts. The next wave that's coming down from the tentacles, the ship continues to lower until it is now level with the ship. There's a big splash and a huge waves that hits the waters, and then the tentacles kind of reach out and try to grasp onto the hammerhead. However, because the ship was able to turn a little bit out of the way, it's not quite close enough, which causes the second wave to just kind of stay where they're at on the tentacles, waiting just for enough time to jump. And then as it gets within about a 10-foot distance, the next wave does make a jump for it, and then I'm going to roll to see how many make the jump. A little over half, so there's about 5 more soldiers that land down onto the deck, drawing their either blades or spears respectively, but they do not have any time to actually make an attack. So next up is Volac. You're up on the deck still. You see Tabby from ahead just getting kind of chased down by these 2 that had fallen. You see another 5 more coming over from the left. What do you do?
I'm gonna finish off the 2 that are attacking Tabby.
Okay.
Or are gonna attempt to. So I'm gonna use Agonizing Blast again. And well, I missed that one. And that's a 12 on the other one.
You only get a +2. I'm pretty sure you get. So need to add your spell modifier, right?
Oh wait, spell modifier. Okay, let me look at that. Where's the spell modifier at on this?
It should be for being a warlock at level. Are you level 6 now, right?
I think so.
So you get your proficiency bonus as well. So you should get proficiency plus, I think it's charisma.
Okay, so it would be plus the charisma bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be +7. So the first one would be 9. That would be 17.
You just hit with that second one. Yeah, you
That
just
second
kind of
one.
hit him square in the back plate. Go ahead and roll damage. And if you roll more
Okay.
than,
Wow.
do you get
637.
do you get to add anything to that? Because it's
Yeah, I get to
agonizing.
add. I get to add 5.
Okay,
So
so
it's 6.
So he had 3 hit points left. So
Okay.
yeah, so your blast just melts through his back plate, which is kind of the steel-looking armor, and there's a sizzle mark from below, and you see this kind of molten magma-looking hole in his body as he just drops down, shot dead from behind.
I kind of giggle. And then I look around. So are there any of them like actively coming towards me right now, or
Well, you see this other group, which is kind of here off to the left. They just basically jumped on board.
okay, I'm gonna go hang out with the cat. I'm gonna go try to hang out towards near the captain. So I'm gonna move closer to him so that they see a big shark guy. And they see a little gnome. You know,
They
maybe
think
they'll attack the shark guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Nyx, you're kind of not even quite halfway up in the rigging, and you see just below you these additional soldiers jumping aboard the ship. What do you do?
So, I see all this happen. I also see that Tabby got hit and then shocked with the lightning. It looks like she took a pretty hard hit. So what I'm gonna do is kind of climb down the rigging down to the deck, and then I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Tabby,
Okay.
and I'm gonna blow her a kiss and say, "Take this, darling." So I'm gonna cast this as a level 3 spell slot. So it's gonna be 1 second. 4, 11. She heals for 11.
I think that's almost how much she took. I don't remember exactly.
I
But
think it was 17 damage. It was pretty bad.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Is there any visible element to your magic, or is it just all auditory with what you're saying, and then you feel the boost of health?
There's going to be kind of like a bright blue light that kind of spin, kind of like like cartoon wind.
Yeah, it just kind of coalesces
Kind of
around
swirls
her.
around Tabby, and the wound glows a little bit.
Awesome. So now, if you got down from the rigging as well, you probably still have about half your movement left if you're wanting to kind of move at all on the deck, or you just kind of want to stay kind of near the base of the mast.
I'm gonna try to run over to where Volac is. Would I have enough room to do that?
Yes, you can. If you want to kind of get over to be where the captain is, and just kind of want to be next to him.
Yeah, I gotta back up my buddies.
Okay, perfect. So next up then is Tabby.
All right. Well, the guys in front of me fell, right?
One of them did.
One of them. Okay. So I look at the one that fell, and I look at their friend, and I say, and I point and I say, "You're next." And as my bonus action, I would like to rage.
Okay, perfect.
And just like in mid range, I'm gonna turn and I see the kiss from the Tabaxi, and I reach out and I grab it and I put it on my cheek just as I'm feeling the healing, and then I turn back and I just bring back my maul and I'm gonna take a swing at it while raging. Take a swing at it while raging.
Awesome.
That's a 22 to hit with 21 points of damage.
Yep. How do you want to kill him?
I actually don't want to full on kill him on the deck. Like I want to, because it's a maul, I want to like baseball hit him off of the ship and just send him flying. And if I can, I would like to send him flying and make him hit the side of his ship before he falls in the water.
Oh, absolutely. For sure that happens. 100%. Now I'm going to shift you guys over to the actual ship map here in a second. But
okay.
Where do you want to try to go next, or do you want to do anything else? Because you still, I think, have like half your movement in a second attack.
I do. Yeah, I have. I would think I would have all my movement because the guy was in front of me. But I would like to take whatever movement I have left, and if there's anybody else left on deck that I can hit, that's where I'm going next.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 5 more guys that have come over.
Great. I want to find them and be in the middle of them all.
Okay. Yeah, you just kind of run up, and they're just pulling out their weapons as you're charging them. You can get in within range. What do you want to do?
Perfect. Surprise! And they're gonna get hit. I'm gonna hit the closest one next to me, and I'm going to do it with the Great Weapons Master feat,
Okay.
Which will add on more damage. That's an 11 to hit, but I would like to use my inspiration and re-roll because I had inspiration from hanging out at the top of the mast. May I use that?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So that's a 10. That's even worse.
Unfortunately, it's not going to hit. You see.
Do you?
No, I used my bonus action to activate my rage. Never mind.
Yeah, you see these 5 figures, and I think I moved the map over already.
Yeah.
They all kind of hustle together and lower their spears like a phalanx, creating this kind of wall which gets in between you and them just in time. So as you're swinging, they're able to keep enough space to avoid getting hit. So that's your move and second attack. And then bonus action is a rage, right?
Yeah, my bonus action was rage this round. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now is the crew's turn. So the captain is once again ordering the crew members that are here on deck to man the cannons and shoot. And because they are now across from the ship, which technically should be on the other side there. So the ship is basically over here on this edge. All of the sailors are able to take a shot at it. So if you all want to roll 1d20 and then add 5, all players can do so.
20 plus 5.
Okay, so Naru's is gonna hit. Nyx's is gonna hit. So you can both roll 2d10. Tabby, yours is gonna hit.
Any pluses with the D10s or no?
No, I'm just dealing them as 2d10 flat.
Okay, got it. That poor guy.
Okay, so that's 3, 14, 15. So that is 29 points of damage as these cannons go off in this volley of splintering metal shot, blasting out almost at point blank range into this tendrils, totally shearing off some of the purple arms and some actually penetrating into the hull, blasting this metal damage into the side of the ship. The first mate is going to try to steer the ship again. Nyx, can you go ahead and roll that for me?
Sorry, what did you need to roll?
For the first mate who's driving the ship. Okay, so he is trying to utilize the momentum of the ship and the wind that's nearby, but he's not really able to make any space additional from where the ship is getting closer to the Gith ship. So next up is Naru.
Should be able to see what I presume is their cockpit. Can I see?
Yep.
I rolled an 18 on spot.
Yep, you definitely can. You can see, again, it looks kind of like the Millennium Falcon's cockpit, how there's this kind of curved paned window, and inside you see a bunch more of these green creatures.
I'm going to fireball them. So this as a higher level spell using my sorcery point instead of a spell slot. So it'll give them more. Okay. So bright streak flashes from my pointer finger to a point I chose within range, being 150 feet. Then blooms with a loud roar into an explosive flame. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a dexterity saving throw. A target takes, it's going to be 9d6 fire damage. On a failed save, half as much on a successful one. The fire spreads around the corners, ignites all the flammable objects in that area that aren't being worn or carried. It's going to do some nice damage to the pit as well. Let's do some.
So roll your damage.
It only goes up to 5d6, so I'm going to have to roll this twice. And add an additional points of fire damage to that.
How much?
3 points additional.
Plus 8?
Because it's a fire spell. So.
Okay, so you... I just added it.
32 points total damage to the inside of their home base.
Yep. So you see the window, this transparent teal-looking glass, totally shatter as the fireball erupts. The 4 creatures you can see inside, 3 of them duck and jump out of the way, and you see them getting seared by the fire blast. The 4th one, who's at the helm, his eyes, the last thing you see is them just wide as this pinprick of red hits the windshield, and then he's totally incinerated. Nothing is left of the pilot. And the ship lurches as this bomb goes off right in front of it, and you see it just kind of rolling within the waves.
There's I assume that it's on fire in there right now too, right?
As far as you can tell, yes. There's the flames are roaring within.
But I'm gonna roll over to if can.
Okay, I would like someone to roll a volunteer to roll a 1d100 for me, please.
I gotcha. 1d.
Oh, you know, the reason I can't find it is because it's in here. Ahem.
17.
Interesting. Okay, thank you, Adrik. So Naru, you were flying, and I think that takes concentration to continue, but the fireball goes off. Do you have any bonus actions, any movement, anything else you want to do?
I'm going to double light. I don't know how much flame is in that area, but I kind of want to blind these people, so I'm going to use a cantrip to control flame.
Okay, and is that a bonus action?
Is I am taking 2 sorcery points away
Okay.
to make it. And I'm going to double the light. And actually, okay, yeah. I'm going to double the light that's in front of the screen, so they can't see out of it. Give the ship advantage on maneuvering away from this ugly guy.
Yeah, absolutely. That is awesome. So as Naru, you're doing this, you see what is she called? The red rocket just kind of flying through the air, this enormous fireball eruption. Any rain that's getting close to you from the storm is just kind of melted away before it even hits you because of your heat.
I don't know. I never described what it looks like when I fly. So when I fly, you know how like in a desert there's that mirage effect that happens with the heat. It just makes the air look like it's waving. Pretty much that happens underneath me as like my heat literally just shoots me off the ground wherever I want it to take me. That's what my flying kind of looks like.
Fantastic. All right, Adrik.
All right, I'm going to come on down to. Let's see. I can see how many guys now currently.
So there's still one guy who's kind of on you, and there's additional ones out in the rigging.
Does the guy still on me have a weapon? Still?
He has a blade at his side, which he would draw basically on his turn. But at this point, you're ahead of him with initiative, so he hasn't drawn it yet. His hand is like reaching down towards the scabbard.
Just gonna reassemble him to the face.
Okay. So the 14 is not going to hit him. He kind of turns his shoulder and catches it on one of these metal pauldrons of his, and it just kind of scorches and leaves just this little black smear on it.
Follow through with an uppercut.
That will hit. Now, are you doing these at distance? So, like, you're doing the moves, but the radiant energy is coming up in his melee range?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So you're like uppercutting just the air and like 15 feet away.
Inches away type thing, and just like the energy just continues.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, yeah, that hits him for 5 damage.
Is he still up?
Yeah, he's
and
not damaged hardly at all.
Just roundhouse kick.
So he plants himself squarely on this mast and takes the blow in the chest, but he's able to maintain and on his turn, which would be next, it looks like you used all your move, all your key and everything, or do you still have a move?
He's using the key point for that one extra attack.
Okay, can you do that with 4 attacks or no?
So using a point of key, I get an extra attack of unarmed strike with flurry of blows.
So you get your 2 attacks from being 5th level or whatever, and then you get the 2 key points, so that's 4 attacks total?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that second one, or the last one, is going to hit him for sure. Okay, so then it is his turn. This guy pulls out his saber and begins to launch at you, kind of with not quite a Naruto run, but he's got his blade stuck straight behind him as he leans into his run, charges towards you, and then slashes upwards twice. And he doesn't get advantage because he doesn't have an ally, so that is just going to be a 13 and a 15.
Just casually dances around it.
Okay, perfect. The other soldiers, so ones in the rigging are going to be in combat with the other sailors in the rigging. Let's see, who hasn't rolled in a bit? Let's have Volac. You can roll for the good guys, the sailors, and I'm going to roll for the other guys. So unfortunately, the Gith are decimating the sailors within the rigging. There's a couple bodies that fall down from the upper part of the ship, some hitting the deck, some splashing into the water, and then the remaining Gith start to descend down onto the deck. This other, I think it's 8 left, are coming down. On the deck, this group of 4 that are in front of Tabby, they begin to spread out a little bit so that they're they're kind of coming out around from two sides, and they're all focused on trying to stab you with their spears. So that is going to be 4 attacks with advantage because they're all backing up. So first rolls and second rolls with advantage. What is your defense?
My defense is 15.
Okay, so that is going to be 3 hits, and then with the advantage, yeah, 3 hits. These spears, again, they do 1d8 spear damage and 1d6 lightning damage.
Okay.
And that's halved for you being a barbarian raging, except as the lightning get halved.
I believe it's all damage while raging.
If it's
Are you barefooted?
It might not. Hold on.
What kind of barbarian are you again?
I took the ancestral path, but I'm a golden dragon, so I have resistance to fire. You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage, so it's not elemental.
Okay, so you take 9.
So that one is only for the bear totem barbarian.
So you get 9 piercing and then 8 lightning, so 17.
Yeah, so it'd be 17 in total.
Okay, so these coordinated thrusts with their blades are all stabbing at you, and some of them strike, and it's more the lightning that seems to zap you and do the damage. The 5th guy, who's kind of behind, breaks formation and goes after one of the crew.
Do I get an attack of opportunity because he broke formation and is leaving my range?
That's fair. Yeah, go ahead.
Great.
You're going.
Like, no. That's an 11 to hit.
No.
That is a natural one. Unfortunately not. You would have had a perfect line of sight, except the last one zaps you a little bit, giving him just a second later to escape your range. And he comes over, and with a 6 attack or 13 attack, sorry, not 6, so 12 attack, is not going to be able to damage one of the sailors. So no damage is dealt over there. However, the ship itself doesn't seem to take any movement, as the bridge has just been decimated by the fireball. You do see that the tendrils, however, are still operating, but instead of attacking the deck, it begins to focus all the tendrils, and being up close to the ship at this point, it starts to bore in through the hull of the ship, just above the waves. Next up is Volac. Oh, you can't see the turnover? The turn? How do I fix that?
I have no idea, but it's not there for me. I don't know if it's there for everybody else.
It's not there for me either.
Oh, sorry.
Is that better?
Nope, not there.
Can I do?
All right.
I'm not sure why it's not working.
I mean, as long as you have it.
Yeah, as long as you have it, that's really what's important. But I just thought it was odd that it didn't transfer over.
I don't see any settings or anything for it that shows. Yeah,
Okay.
basically it's Naru, Adrik, them, Volac, Nyx, Tabby, the sailors.
I want to try to help Tabby out again.
Okay.
I'm just going to cast some Agonizing Blast at the ones that look the weakest.
Okay.
So. Well,
Oh.
that didn't hit.
No.
That could.
Though.
That one will hit.
Sneezes the first time, missing completely.
Yeah, that just like flies behind me. Pew. But all right, so that one does hit. So that is going to be 12 damage.
Okay, awesome. So that is first and second attack. Any movements or any bonus?
No, I'm just gonna stay near Captain Scrag. You know.
Okay, perfect. Nyx.
Okay.
I think you're still muted. But Nyx is next. Nyx, you there?
Yeah, right here. Sorry, our food just came.
Oh.
Okay, so what I am going to do, I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery
Yeah.
on one of the dudes, one of the four groups that's fighting Tabby.
I hate to say it, but he just rolled a natural 20 on his wisdom save.
Oh no!
Maybe my voice cracked or something.
So it's probably at the same time as like Captain Scrag shooting his pistol up into the rigging with one of these descending gith.
They
And
didn't hear me.
drowns it out.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Bardic Inspiration again, this time on Tabby, and I do have 2 left, so I'm gonna give her a D8,
Okay, awesome.
and that'll
Make
be
that
my
note.
turn.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Next is Tabby.
All right. I am going to take my first attack at the one who was left by his lonesome because his friend left. So I'm going to take that attack, and I am going to make it reckless so I can roll with advantage. Shit.
That's not being nice to you today.
It is not. I had some nice ones earlier, but I think that was it. And then just being super mad, I'm going to take another swing at him again. Same pattern. Natural 20.
Damn.
So just with
Go.
the damage that you rolled there, not even including the crit, how do you want to kill him?
So it's pretty much just going to be another baseball swing off the ship. I don't want to get the ship bloody for the captain.
Is that your reasoning?
It's respect.
That's hilarious.
I'm
Okay.
respectful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then because I knocked him to 0 hit points, I get to make another attack as a bonus action.
Go for it. Now you're
So
attacking the rest of the group, right? The other 4 in
Yeah.
formation.
So pretty much I missed. They're laughing behind me. I knocked their friends off. I knocked their friend off the ship, and then I turn around. I just grin and take a swing at them. With a 17 to hit for one of them.
Perfect. Yeah, that's gonna hit. It just barely penetrates the armor, but once you do, you bring him to his knees, and he looks to be that 1 hit point. So I'll just call it that. Let's see. After Tabby is the crew. So Captain Scrag, along with the first mate, which I don't think. Oh, the first mate's in the. I didn't copy CR over. CR is on the other side of the ship, so we will have them all shoot the cannons again, except for CR. She's going to get off of the cannon and basically try to go help Tabby, seeing as how there's 4 of these guys right next to her. She is going to attack with basically a cutlass-looking thing, and she's going to attack 3 times. And that is going to be 2 hits out of the 3.
Get the one with 1 hit point.
She would be smart enough to do that, actually. So she'll just come over and decapitate him, and then the other one she strikes is one of the other. Which I think you know, Volac had hit this other one for it and did 12 damage on it, and she does an additional 13 damage to it, so that puts him at 25 hit points. Okay.
So, not gonna lie, Deadpool the Musical just came to mind with the line, "I'm especially good at decapitating,"
Beautiful.
as she takes off his head.
Yeah, and it just goes sailing off with this spurt of kind of more of a blackish looking blood, but just sails over the railing and disappears into the water. On the other side, the captain is going to shoot up again into the rigging with his hand cannon. Someone please roll for the captain, just 1d20, and then I'm going to roll for the Gith. Whoever wants to, I will say. Naru looks like she beat you to it. So the captain shoots up there, but he's not able to land a hit on the Gith, and they are still coming down. The first mate is going to try to get out of the ship, so we'll use Adrik's roll to move the ship over. He's got a +5 for 15, so he is able to kind of break free of the tendrils that are trying to bore into the side of the ship. And
Did he get advantage because of that, or are you giving the other ship disadvantage?
He passed his roll. I guess, yeah, it would make sense for him to get an advantage. But either way, he's successful. So the ship begins to turn and kind of steer away from the Githyanki ship. And then that... Did you guys all roll for the cannons yet, or no? You can all roll 1d20.
Yeah.
So 1d20 for the cannons. Ah.
Okay.
Apparently these guys were not...
Cannoneer is on point.
Yeah, Naru, do you want to roll your 2d10?
Yes!
15.
Nice camera. Natural 20.
Oh,
Volac,
Volac.
yes!
Ooh, awesome. So Volac,
got a nat
roll
20.
2d20 as well, and then add 20. You guys are pummeling this ship.
What does he need to do?
2d10 for the damage, and then +20.
Plus 20?
Correct.
Plus 20.
Okay, so I'm just he's eating right now, so I'm just gonna roll for him.
Sure, that's fine. 28 additional damage. Wow.
Nice.
So 256 damage done to the ship. So this cannon goes off, and you can see the turtle Boros. He's the one who fired it, and it just kind of lands straight through, again, one of these little openings, these doorways, and you see the ricochet of explosions going on from within. One of the tentacles, which has been trying to drill through the side of the ship, at the base, it kind of detaches from this explosion going off from behind and just flops into the water with this big splash. Let's see. Let's have Tabby roll a 1d100 for me.
You betcha. Almost to the 200. That's not gonna work. 67.
Interesting.
I hate it when you say it like that.
It's in thirds, so 67 goes into the top third.
Ooh.
So, that's their turn. So next up is... Hold on, I missed putting the captain in, that's why. After that is Naru.
Am I seeing these tendrils go into ship
Yes.
beneath me?
Yes, and you can see that there's another group of the Githyanki about to try to charge in through the opening that was created. It's not a big
How
opening.
many?
But yeah, there's like another dozen.
The opening in
soldiers.
our ship or from their ship?
Their ship. Your ship.
Okay.
So the tendrils from the Gith ship have drilled a little bit of a hole in the cargo hold of your ship, but it was pulled away as the first mate. How
many tendrils are there? Have you been keeping track of the tendrils?
The tendrils are unlimited.
Okay.
So yes.
Do I also see if there's anything going on inside the
Inside the bridge, you can see that with your controlling the flames and keeping it high, it's burning intensely in there. You can see some movement, but it doesn't look like they're trying to get back to the helm. They're trying to put out fires and get out of the heat zone.
The brightness is going to last, I think, for an hour. If I'm not mistaken.
Is that
so
through
that's
control flame?
Yeah, and once it's done, it's done.
Yeah, unless they put it out.
It's true.
Which they are taking action to try to douse the flames.
Fireball them again, then.
Okay.
Yes,
No
we are
shame.
going to do this as a level 4 attack. So I will accordingly adjust my sorcery points. And let's make them make dexterity saving throw. And they have to get a 15 or actually above a 15. 96.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna live because they already took half. Yeah, so they're
And add 3 to that.
because the other 3 pilots in here have taken half damage from the previous attack. You basically incinerate anything that's alive in there. The helm is turned to just slagged metal. The walls are melted off the walls, revealing just this really bare looking kind of husk, and there's nothing left in the bridge. How much damage did you do total? Let's see.
25 plus 15, so 40. 40 damage.
Oh wow! So you, as a group, you've so far done 295 damage to this ship. Wow. Okay. So Naru, that's your attack.
Oh, I'm not done yet. How far am I away from these people trying to?
I just am imagining you're 50 feet up. If you wanted to be a little bit closer, you could have descended with the ship a little bit. It's up to you.
Let's go. Let's go kind of down a little bit. Closer to by where, like, kind of above where they're trying to drill a hole into the hull. I think I've pretty much made mincemeat of that bridge.
So you're basically going to descend down to where the breach is.
Yeah, kind of up, not all the way down, but kind of like above that area.
Okay. Are you level with the deck or just above the deck?
I'm gonna be above the deck.
Okay. So you'll say you're like 15 feet above the cannons.
And I'm going to firebolt.
Okay, you'll have to quicken that, so just keep track of your
Yes,
spell
I am
points.
going to quicken that.
Okay, and who are you shooting?
One of the people, or maybe if I can get in it where, like, it goes through one, it's second one, but one of the people that's trying to get into the hull.
Okay, so the people on the tentacles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I get +7 to that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you hit him. Roll your damage.
And it'd be 2d10. Oh my gosh, that's so bad.
Okay.
2d10. Actually, oh wait, yeah. Because I used the fire on the previous one, so 5 damage.
Okay, so yeah, you nail one of them as they're kind of coming across these tentacles. Doesn't really do too much against his armor. But yeah, Adrik, you're next.
Can I yell that they're trying to get in through? Or
Yeah, yelling is free.
okay, I'm gonna yell. They've breached the hole and are trying to get in through this side. I'm gonna yell that out very loudly as I can. I need a roll for volume or.
Nope, you're fine. So Adrik.
Does a 14 hit?
14 does not hit.
All right, and then swinging with the sword.
That would
So-
hit.
What he does is he literally impales him with the sword. Bonus action to ignite the fire.
Okay, and how do you what fire?
It's remember this particular weapon is like a flame tongue. So
That's
I can use a
right.
bonus action to start the fire of the weapon. So I basically stab him with it and bonus action command word for the fire.
Okay. So yeah, it's in him. Roll your damage.
So let me see. What is the damage of flame tongue here?
Typically, imbued weapons do 1d6 of whatever type of damage they do.
Yep. Let me see here. I got it right here. Let's see. Bonus action command word. It's 2d6 fire.
Okay, roll your damage.
2d6. So just burning him from inside out.
Yeah, he is on fire with 1 hit point left. If you had rolled one more, you would have hit 30. So he's skewered. his internal organs are being burned from the inside, and his eyes are just kind of widen with this kind of hatred for you, as he knows that he's basically dead at this point. But with his last move, unless, do you have any other actions? That's two attacks. Did you want to use any
Yeah, 2 attacks,
key?
and the fire, like igniting the flame, was a bonus action.
So do you want to? Oh, so that was your bonus action, basically.
The bonus action, yeah.
You want to move at all or no?
I'm all right.
Okay, so with his last death throw, he's going to try to slice you with his scimitar. He does get 2 attacks with it, and that is going to be a 23 and a natural 1, as the blade actually falls from his grasp before he's able to really even do anything else.
First one does hit.
Okay, and that's 8 points of damage, and he is sitting on your blade with 1 hit point. The others are the crew by Tabby is going to kind of split their attacks 2 and 2 against Ciara and 2 against Tabby. And so that is going to be a 19 and a 10 on Tabby.
10 doesn't hit, the 19 does. And does she get hit?
I haven't rolled for Ciara because they have advantage.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 19 is the only one that hits.
Okay. So that is 1 point of piercing and then 6 points of lightning, so 7. So the 1 is half to 1 basically.
Yeah. No.
I mean, if you want, you can do decimal points, but I'm not going to track that. I actually do that with my guys because I just type it in their green health bubble. If you want to, you can keep track of 0.5, but I don't expect you to if you don't want to.
That's fine. No, I'll just go down to 65. That's fine.
Okay. The other 2 on Ciara.
So they should have
we'll both-
disadvantage because I'm raging.
Oh, because they're not attacking you?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll just go with the
I
first
can't
roll.
find the exact skill, but I remember.
Yeah, it's like they have to focus on you, basically, because I remember that.
For the
Yeah.
Ancestral Barbarian, anytime she's raging, if an enemy tries to attack anyone else with her, they have disadvantage.
Yep, so you
And
cancel
then-
out that second roll, so both of those will miss Ciara.
Perfect.
Well done. I didn't think of that. Now to see what happens. Who wants to do some rolling for me?
Tabby
Sure.
will.
Okay, well, you both can do something then. Tabby, you roll a perception check for the first mate with disadvantage. And then for Adrik, if you want to roll 1 percentile die for me.
No, sorry, 3.
4.
Okay. The first mate is at the helm, and he's en route to basically start moving the ship even further away from the Githyanki ship, when all of a sudden an unseen blade carves through his throat from front to back and executes him, and his head rolls free from his body, and the orc drops to the ground decapitated.
No!
What?
From that
Oh.
attack, invisibility is cancelled, and the Gith assassin stands by him and cranks the wheel back, turning the ship back towards the Githyanki ship. Let's see. The action of doing that allows the squad to kind of go through, diving through this little hole that's been made into the cargo hold. And let's see, that would make them invisible. And then, yeah, that's their turn. It's Volac.
All right, so how's Tabby doing over there with how many of the minions are over there?
There are
Are they still
4
off?
left, 1 critically wounded.
Okay.
I thought I
Yeah.
took out 2 of them. Isn't there just one?
Did you-
there just one left?
Did you take out 2 or 1? Oh, you did take out 2. So no, so there were 5 total, so there'd be 2 left, 1.
Okay.
Sorry, 3 left, 1 critically wounded.
She
Okay,
took
I
out the
think
critically
Tabby,
wounded one.
I think Tabby could probably take the other 2, especially with the second mate there. I'm gonna change my attention to the assassin.
Okay.
And are there any other characters around the assassin, or is it just the assassin over there now?
No, he was up there by himself. All the other sailors are manning the cannons or trying to work in the rigging, which have since been more or less slain. So there's just that one figure up by the wheel.
Okay, I want to cast Shatter on the assassin.
Oh, okay. What do I have to do? Is that a Constitution save?
So it's a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so that will pass. He still will take damage though.
So it takes half damage of a 3d8. Let me. So half of that, however you want to do it. Is it just going to be 8 damage, or are you going to round it up to 9?
Since I'm using a computer, I just do it. So 8.5, and then any other half damages just stack up.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so what does this look like as you cast it?
So it like like a little ball of energy, like slowly constricts and expands rapidly, sends out a shockwave and kind of messes with the ship a little bit, like the wood around it splinters. Unfortunately, the body of the first mate kind of like
it's kind of
flies away a little bit, and it kind of just stuns everything in the area a little bit.
Yeah, I like to think he's probably the assassin's blown off his feet a little bit and
Yeah,
he's like recovering from this blast. Yeah, awesome. So that's your spell. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
I'm still hanging around the shark boy.
Okay. You would see at this point that there are more gifts coming down from the ropes from above. They look like they're about to jump down.
Uh-oh. I get even closer to the shark.
Okay. Nyx. Is Nyx tied up?
Are you muted?
Sorry. I think my speed is 5 spaces, so.
It would be 6 actually. You should be able to move 6 spaces.
Diagonally? Try to see if I can get up to the assassin, but I think I have to speed up.
Yeah. So this would be where you could move if you're running in a straight line. Actually, no.
Actually, I want to.
You could get up next to him if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna run up to him and attack him with my dual daggers.
Okay. Yeah, and he's just basically standing up from a knee from where he just got hit with this magical blast. So as you get up close to him, go ahead and make your attacks.
So if I have 2 different weapons, if I'm dual wielding, is it still gonna be just one roll for both?
You're a bard. I know at level 5 you should be getting 2 attacks. I've never really looked at bard stats a whole lot, so I would need to check. Or if I know, Michael, if you happen to know by any chance.
For bards, they don't get an extra attack unless they are College of Blades or College of Swords.
Okay, well I'll just roll for the 1, and that's gonna be 17 to hit.
Yeah, you hit him. This guy is not wearing as much armor. He looks like he's wearing like a loose, or actually it's not a loose, it's a tight tunic, almost like leather fitting, but it is not very well armored.
Did you hear what I said? If you are wielding 2 swords, you get a bonus action as an extra attack.
Does it work with daggers?
Yes.
So that means I get like an additional attack?
So you can attack twice. As
okay.
Your second time is bonus action.
But you wouldn't get to cast any bonus spells if you did that.
Okay.
Do you get any damage to your additional damage to your dagger?
Yeah, so the first strike was 5 damage, and then the second attack is doesn't hit.
Yeah, he learned his lesson from leaving himself open from that first strike, and he kind of dodges away, kind of clutching at his arm. and that is your move, attack, and bonus. So Tabby.
Okay, so I've got two people in front of me and one critically wounded. I've got a warrior next to me, so I know I'm good there. Did I hear Naru's shout of people getting into the brig?
Yeah, considering how close she is to you, I wouldn't make you roll for that. Yeah, that was you would have heard.
Okay.
I yelled very loudly.
And how much movement is it to get downstairs? Because I have 40 feet. 30 would put me here, or roughly where Spike is. So I'd want to get downstairs and get to the brick where they would have gone in.
You would basically be able to get to the middle level, the doors that you had been guarding before. You could basically get right up to that with just your normal speed.
Okay. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take the attack of opportunity from the guys.
Okay, so the two that are engaged with you are both attack. They get their advantage because they're attacking you, and they've got a buddy. So that's going to be +6. So that is a 16, and that is a natural 20.
Yes, that is.
So 16 will hit too, or no?
Yeah, they both will.
Okay, so that is 18 and then plus 14.
And then divide by 2.
Oh, that's right. So that's going to be 18 bludgeoning divided by 2 is 9, and then the 8 plus 6 is lightning, so that's 14. So altogether, that's 23 points of damage.
Okay.
So yeah, as you're running past, you basically would run over the, I don't want to say body because it's not human, but you see the kind of crumpled form of Spike just skewered to the floor. With this.
I give him a little salute.
Okay. So you go down. So you still have a bonus action.
Yeah. So I still have my action. I still have my 2 actions and my bonus action.
Correct.
So I want to get down and and look for the guys who just got in and figure out where they're at. So that's kind of my goal.
You would find that the door is unlocked, the padlock is gone, so you can just open or kick open the door, whatever you want to do, and continue down if you wish.
Well, I'm raging, so I might as well kick open the door.
What was it?
Did we ever relock that door to begin with?
Yes, you did.
Maybe there's more than one assassin. Plot twist.
So because I'm raging, I'm going to kick in the door.
Okay.
Yeah, no common courtesy when you're mad.
Yeah, it just comes off the hinge. It's totally decimated.
I just imagine Tabby riding the door down the stairs, like just stair surfing with the door.
Okay.
So what do I see when I get inside?
Let's find out.
Oh no.
All right, can you see the map right?
Yes.
Oh no.
Okay, so you see that's not supposed to be there. As you're coming down the steps, you kick open the door. The steps are right before you. You would see. Actually, I didn't even think of this. The squad of Gith are in one of the zombie cages, getting totally swarmed by zombies, and they're hacking them apart and cutting them down, and they're almost done making short work of these zombies, but there's probably probably was 4-1, and now it's down to 2-1 zombies to the Gith soldiers inside this zombie cage, as these undead monsters are just biting and swiping and trying to do everything they can to get a meal, and the Gith are in a cage stuck.
Huh. Well, for notes, this is Tabby's first time in here.
Oh yeah, that's right. So so you would see.
Very shocked.
Yeah, for coming down here, the walls are lined with these prison cages filled with undead. These zombies of all kinds of races. Like you see a tiefling zombie, you see even halfling zombies amongst the mix, which look really creepy because they almost look like children. But then you can tell they're a little bit stouter and they're shoeless and they're definitely halflings. Most of them are humanoid of some sorts, but there's easily 150 zombies amongst these different cages. And then just up ahead, you see the canvas covering this giant prison cell, essentially, which is still covered. And then the Gith in one of the cages, like hacking apart the zombies as best they can.
So did they like crash in and crash into the cage, so they're stuck in the cage with the zombies?
Yeah, so there is basically a gap in the wall. I didn't think of that.
Okay.
I didn't think of that until I got to the map.
So
But
okay,
that would have happened.
So hear me out. Is this like an individual cage? Like they crashed into the back, so now they're stuck in the cage. There's a big hole behind them, but the cage isn't attached. Like here and here, are they like two cages sitting next to each other? Is it a row of completely connected cages?
So the way it's framed is these cages aren't built into the ship; they're pushed up against the back of the ship. And so when the tendrils had broken through the wood of the ship, they also tore part of the railings out from the back. So there's an opening in the ship and the cage, but from the back where the Gith are. Inside the cages, there's the zombies, but you still have the front of the cage secured with the padlock and gate, so you'd have to be able to unlock that to get the zombies.
Spear them
out.
through the cage.
Oh no. My initial reasoning for this is because I want to know, Adrian, can I push this cage out of the hole?
The hole is not big enough. The ship did not get enough room, and then all the cages are linked together also. So there's basically 5 cages in a row, all linked together. So you couldn't push just one of them out.
Dang it!
I mean, you have a fire breath, right?
Oh yeah, I know. That was my next step. Don't
Plan
you
B.
fret. But I just thought I had the opportunity to push them out, and that's what I was going to do. So yeah, I'm gonna use my dragon's breath.
Okay. Well, to get down into the room, you would have to use a second movement. So that would be a bonus action to dash. Or to be an action to dash, actually, because you're not a rogue.
Sure. And then once I get to the cage, I'll use my regular action. And they need to make a DC save of 15, but I'm guessing it's either at disadvantage or it auto-hit.
Well,
Just tell me
Let me just make sure the action economy is correct. So you have your movement, which you moved up to the door. Then you're taking your... It's an action to dash or a bonus action? Because I'm pretty sure normally it's an action to dash, unless you're a rogue. So I
have my movement and my action, but then I have one more. I have one more action.
Well, you'd have a bonus
I'm at level
action.
9.
Do you get a second action at level 9, or is it 2 attacks? Or how does? Let me check.
It's 2 attacks. So
your attack action includes 2 attacks, but I don't think it means you get a second action.
No, it does not mean you get a second action. And so extra attack includes...
come on. I want to see flames shooting out the side of the boat.
Well, worst case, it'll just be one more round. But to my understanding, yeah, if you have, even though you have multiple attacks at level 5 or whatever, you're still using your action to make an attack, and with that attack, you get 2 attacks. But it's not 2 separate actions that's going on.
Oh, okay. So I just use my...
Yeah. So basically, you get up there, you kick open the door, you see what's going on, and you can get up to the cage, and you just kind of looking through the bars at these ravenous zombies, totally ignoring you because they have this fleshy feast coming in from the back. And you see this full squad of like 12, probably down to 8 Githyanki now at this point, all kind of crunched in together, hacking apart the zombies.
Tabby's just going to stand there and she's just going to like tilt her head in surprise. Like,
Yep.
Did not expect that coming down here.
Yeah, honestly, I did. I foiled my own plan. Captain Scrag. Okay, so the captain's going to again try to take care of these Gith that are jumping down onto the deck from this side. Can someone please roll a 1d20 for me? We'll just have Naru since you're next. Why is mine taking so long?
No, it was being weird and being slow.
Okay, yeah. So Captain Scrag with his basically this flintlock looking pistol just shoots one and it blasts him apart and he falls down into the water. Then he draws out his own saber, which is this big cutlass looking sword, and rushes in to start beating on some more of these Gith, protecting Volac more by
Wouldn't the
happenstance
captain-
than on purpose.
Didn't the captain go to the helm to see why the ship jerked like that?
No, I don't think he would notice. He
Okay.
well, even if he does, he'd be in either he's trying to deal with these 8 Gith that just dropped down, so he's tied up basically holding that, so you don't have to fight them all. The other sailors, let's see, considering Naru just shouted that, I think probably half of them would start to run down after Tabby, and then the other half would shoot at the ship. Let's see. Adrik and Volac, can you both roll the 1d20 for the cannons?
You got it. Let's see.
And then if you hit, basically you would need a 12 to hit with that. So
14.
Yep. So roll 2d10, and you might just get to the critical failure of the ship.
2d10. 13.
Yep. So the ship reaches critical failure.
I've been waiting for this.
You say it was 13 damage?
Yeah.
Wow, stuff is just not showing up in my my roll tray. Okay. So 2 cannons blast, and then the Gith ship kind of rocks, and the tendrils begin to falter and then drop slowly one by one into the water. Next up is... Actually, he's dead. So Ciara is going to try to single-handedly take down these other ones. She's going to roll her 3 attacks. It's going to be 2 hits. It's 2 damage. Yeah, so she's able to kill the one that had been wounded by Volac. She chops off another head and strikes into another one. And that is their turn. Next up is Naru. You're seeing the ship shudder and quiver. All the tentacles seem to be going dead. The bridge is completely burned out. What do you do?
Is it like falling from the sky?
No, it's landed in the water. It's in the water.
I feel like I would still attack the ship even with a critical failure.
Okay.
And actually, can I actually roll a perception to see if I would see what happened to the ship when it lurched? Would I see that the person got assassinated?
What was your bonus?
Perception? I don't think I have a bonus for perception. No, I don't.
Yeah, with a 13, it's not so much that you notice that he's been dead, but the flash of light from Volac's Eldritch Blast, and you look over and you can see that Nyx is engaged with this Gith assassin, fighting over basically right by the helm of your own ship.
Okay, and do I see like other Volac on board the ship?
So you see there's probably about 10 of these soldiers left, 2 over by Ciara and the cannons, and then another 6 over by Captain Scrag and Volac, but he seems to be holding them off by himself, like his blade parrying and blocking and spinning around as he's fighting all these other ones. I'll put some minis on for him too. Okay,
so my character, I rolled for just to see what my character would do. And I think I would go for the group. It is group of, and that was what I think it's the green lady. Is she holding off like 10 people right now?
No, she's got 2.
Oh.
Captain Scrag is holding off 8, and then she's holding off 2. And actually, I think I missed it, but on Adrik's turn, which I guess is next, we'll just say that other Gith died because he was at 1 hit point. You skewered him.
Oh yeah, Adrik would have just basically twisted the sword and just kicked him off into the water.
Yeah, so that will just mark that as completed. You did that at the end of your other turn. But Naru, what do you do?
Are there any tendrils reaching into the ship despite the ship being
There were, but with and there was like another 12 of the gift kind of going across them, this squad of them. But as soon as the tendrils kind of die and the cannon does another well-placed shot into the Githyanki ship, the tendrils all just kind of collapse into the sea, and all 12 of those soldiers just go floundering into the water.
Okay. If I did a firestorm over where the soldiers were, would I hit the soldiers and the boat?
Under which ones?
Um,
The ones by Captain Scragg, the ones by CR, or the ones in the water?
ones in the water.
Nope, if you wanted to shoot a bunch into the water, you absolutely could.
I was thinking, the range is a 20-foot radius. Would that hit the soldiers in the water and the boat, or just one or the other?
There's a big enough gap. There's probably like a 20-foot gap between the ships anyways. And so if you wanted to just focus on that space in between, you could just nuke the water and take out all the ones in the
Let's nuke the water. We are nuking the water.
Okay. Now what happens?
So
the water.
normally you see like balls of fire that you think are like meteorites crashing to the ground. They are falling and just pelting the water and splashes, and it looks like a tiny, like not a whirlpool, but like a wave pool with all of these meteorite-like fireballs hitting the water. Pretty much when they hit the water, unless they hit like a person, they kind of just go out, and you realize that there isn't actually any physical object, that it is strictly fire that is hitting the water, but it's hitting where all of these people are, and they're kind of not sure like what's going on, and like the water became even rougher than it already was as fire is shooting at them, and I don't know how well they're going to be able to dodge this. Probably got disadvantage, but that's just a guess. And each creature takes d8, 2d8, and 4d6. Nice. Look at that 19. That is a beautiful 19. And I'm not going to use my +3 on this because I'm going to do a quicken spell and shoot one of the two that is fighting Tiara.
Okay.
And shoot them with a firebolt, I believe. Yes, firebolt. They make a ranged. Sorry, no, they don't make a ranged spell attack. I make a spell attack. Spell attack. And it is 19 plus 7. It does 2d10 damage plus 3. So one of the two gets 17 damage.
Okay, beautiful.
Probably one of the ones that's already more damaged.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be enough to kill it. Let me just check. But yeah, so the firestorm kind of cascades down into the water, these meteorite-looking, flaming, smoldering boulders. Definitely damages quite a few of them, and they're all floundering in the water, trying to swim in their heavy armor. Some beginning to fail and slip underneath the surface. If your fire didn't kill them, most likely some sort of damage would, because some like drowning would, because they're very close to being totally decimated. Back on the ship.
I'm gonna move myself this way, in the air still, but heading that way.
Yep, so how far above deck are you? 10 feet? 15?
Probably as far as a floor. Like, I'm imagining kind of like a floor and a half above them.
Okay, so like, yeah, 10, 15 feet. Basically out of range of their spears, but enough to shoot down.
15. Yeah, 15 feet is good. Let's go 15 feet.
Okay, perfect. Adrik. So you shank this one, fire within his insides, and he swipes at you, and then you just kind of shove him off the blade, and he falls down into the sea below. You have a full turn. What do you do?
Let's see. Is there any more that's up by me currently?
Nope. All those guys have gone down, and Captain Scragg is engaged with them right now.
All right, so I'm assuming I'm up on the mast, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump down. And because it's slow fall, I don't really take any damage.
Nice.
That's 5. Jumping down here, so that's 15, 20, 25. Are there any other spears just laying on the ground here?
Yeah, from the ones that came from above, like there's a couple that are down by Spike's body, just these Githyanki spears laying on the ground. Yeah.
I'm assuming I could see this guy up here.
Yeah, you can see him. Yeah. He's
I'm going to
engaged
go
with
ahead
the
and pick up
mix.
the spear, like one of the spears here, and I'm gonna hurl it at this guy.
Okay, roll an attack.
So that's gonna be 1d20 plus 7 to hit.
That's not going to be enough. Even without his armor, he's able to kind of dodge out of the way. He kind of ducks down underneath the railing, and it just whistles over the head.
And you said how many spears are there by Spike?
Within that vicinity, there'd probably be like 4 at least. So -1 is 3 left.
So
You'd have to go collect
grab,
another one.
one more and try again.
Okay, yeah, that's
18?
gonna hit.
Okay.
So it's 1d8 plus 1d6 for the lightning, and then if you have any other like strength or whatever, you add to your roll.
So 1d8 for the spear. It's 4 plus 1d6.
Okay.
So that's a total of 12 damage.
All right, perfect. So you hit him from over the railing with the second one. Actually, it probably flies through the bars and nails him in the side. This lightning kind of zaps him and he yelps. It's his turn next, and
How far away is he at this point?
he is about 50 feet plus 1 level up. So
Okay,
10.
so
Yeah.
I still have some movement, so I'm going to move forward a little bit. Hop up onto here. And for my bonus action, Radiant Sunbolt.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna hit him. So that's an additional 9.
Yep.
9. Okay. Yeah, it hits him, and he's looking to be a lot more wounded. So the Gith's turn. So there's 2 left over by Ciara and Naru. Naru, you're a little bit out of reach, so they are going to still just kind of both focus on Ciara so they can get their advantage. Those will both hit. And that's going to be a total of 22 damage to her for the first time that she's been hit. So she takes 2 of these spear blows to the chest and kind of staggers back, lightning sizzling from where she was struck. Then the other ones over by Captain Scrag, they're going to attack. Oops, that was the wrong roll. And they are succeeding at beating Captain Scrag. He's taking wounds left and right, shoulders, abdomen. He drops down to knee and just grabs one of the spears from the Githyanki and yanks it out of their hands and tries to like fend off more, but he's taking massive blows over there. And then finally, down in the cargo hold. Tabby, will you roll 1d20 for me?
You betcha. No, wrong button. 18.
Oh.
Speed for 17.
Yep, so the Gith down there, they're almost done chopping down the zombies, but they have been their own forces have dropped from 6 down to 3 Githyanki left, and the last of the zombies they hack down. They are bloodied and looking like pretty much like a wreck, but there's just these handful of zombies on the ground groaning, been chopped in half and reaching up, and the 3 Githyanki kind of make eye contact with you, realizing that they are in for more trouble. Lastly,
Those guys are in for a shit show.
all of the Githyanki that are in the water, there's 12, and then Naru fried some of them. Some are beginning to sink. The others, there's, let's just say, about 5 that are still able to keep swimming. They are suddenly pulled down from below the water, yanked below the surface to be disappearing with nothing more than a yelp. Moments later, the ship, which is just floating dead in the water next to yours, begins to crack, and you see rising up out of the water tendrils that are like none other you've seen. Not like Cthulhu-esque tentacles, much more like giant octopus tentacles, as the Kraken emerges from the water. There's splintering and groaning as the Githyanki ship is crunched and torn apart piece by piece as this monolith monster breaches the water with its mouth centered within all of these tentacles, which wrap around the ship as if it's the size of, like not even 1/5 of the size of the Kraken. This monstrous entity devours the dead Githyanki ship and all of the Gith that are inside it. Everybody who's on the Hammerhead is basically within 25 feet of this, like more like 15 feet from the edge of the Kraken, and you can almost feel it. This stench of sea creature and just this ancient being just is right before your eyes, destroying this enemy ship. The Gith on the ship basically freeze and just watch this happening with a very scared look in their eyes as the Kraken destroys the enemy ship. Volac, what would you like to do?
Really? Really?
Well, I don't want to attack the Kraken because, you know, he's doing us a favor right now. There's still some of those goons right in front of me, right? Captain, or attacking the captain.
Yeah, and Captain Scrag looks like he's almost about to go down, being ganged up by these 8 Gith soldiers. The Gith look like they've for momentarily frozen, though, as their whole ship is destroyed less than 60 feet away from them.
All right, I want to take that opportunity to attack them with some more agonizing blasts. May I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can roll with advantage on them too because they're just sitting targets.
Okay, so I got 7 plus 7, 14.
14 is not enough to hit on that first one, unfortunately.
Okay, so this one is
definitely will hit. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you fry
12.
one of them.
Yeah.
So this one,
Right through his head.
yeah, the head just is smoldering remains, this husk, and it just drops down to the ground, dead.
And then I move to position myself between him, Captain Scrag, and the goons.
Okay. So, yeah, so you just
And I try to make myself a more appetizing target for them to attack.
It's a little challenging considering the size difference, but you're hoping at least the fact that you just melted one of their heads that maybe they'll pay more attention to you at this point. Okay, Nyx.
Is your
Would I see the would I see the huge group attacking the Captain Scrag and Volac?
Yeah, you'd see this kind of everything happening at once. You see Volac and the captain. You see the ship that came down is destroyed and obliterated by the Kraken. You see all of it, yeah.
So if I turn my attention to the big group and cast a spell, would the assassin have an opportunity to attack me?
No, only if you are.
I'm not
leaving.
running away. I'm
Yep.
just
Yes, you'd be fine.
Okay, so
Plus,
because I want
plus
to.
the assassin too. All of the Gith are flat-footed. Their whole way home has just been destroyed completely.
You're stranded here in this dimension. So I imagine that these huge group of they're called Gith.
Yes, Gith.
They're kind of probably crowded together, right? Like.
Yep.
So I'm thinking I wanted to cast Cloud of Daggers, out of range of my friends, but
yeah,
so that
for
it would
sure.
hit at least multiple.
Yeah,
At least.
we'll say we
because
can.
it's a 5 foot cube.
Yeah, so normally that'd be
Um,
one space, but because they're all crowded together, we'll say you can hit at least 2 of them.
at least 2? Okay. So let me do that. Sure. Auto hits, if I remember. And
Oh yeah, you're right.
Bola.
That's correct. So you would kill
grab
2 of these
that.
guys automatically.
Woohoo!
So tell me what that looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely would.
So, Nick's kind of like snaps all of his fingers together and points at where he wants the spell to go, and then just like these daggers just appear out of nowhere and just just start slashing around.
Yeah.
And maybe there's like maybe there's like a noise. You ever hear like feral cats in a fight?
Yeah.
They like growling. That kind of noise.
Awesome. So yeah, your dagger spinning around. You chop down 2 more of these Githyanki soldiers, the warriors. Volac just destroys another one, and they're all of a sudden their ranks are thinning quite quickly. Next up is Tabby. You are down in the hold, and from outside, your window through the prison, through that opening, is just this kind of only a narrow window shot of the other ship, and all you see is it kind of getting broken apart as this tentacle comes up from the water, blocking your entire field of view. You can't see anything except this octopus-like skin blocking it, obstructing the entire field of view.
Oh man, I'm second guessing doing fire breath now.
Yeah, you hear the groans of zombies in both those cages on the left and right. They are just reaching through the bars, trying to claw at these 3 remaining Gith soldiers that are standing just before you.
Did they come in with spears?
They did, but they do not have spears. They have their scimitars out. It looks like they had already used their spears, and you can see that they're piled amongst the corpses of the zombies.
Can I get a spear?
You'd have to reach through. You can roll an acrobatics check to try to reach in and grab one. If you don't roll high enough, we'll just say that there is not a spear within reach. We'll say make the AC or the DC is 13. Ooh,
12.
just outside of reach. You
Barely
could,
out of reach. Like I feel like you could touch it with your fingertips, but just
Yeah.
can't reach it.
exactly.
Right. Okay.
It's not even Tabby popping out fire.
You know you want to do it. Come on, Tab.
I do want to do it, but if I do it, I'm gonna hit the tentacle outside and go make it mad.
Roll just a straight intelligence check for me, or Arcana, I guess, since it's your. Oh, what is your breath weapon? It's not a magical attack. It's just your innate ability, right?
It's
It's
a character ability.
Make a nature check on yourself.
Myself, to see if I can control it. Do I get advantage because it's on myself?
That is completely fair. Yes.
Okay, good, because I have a -1. Okay. Advantage nature check 12.
Okay, that's good enough.
Oh,
what's your
I didn't mean to do that.
What is
I did not mean to do that.
What is your range on the fire? Is it a cone 15 feet?
Yes, it's a 15-foot cone.
So you would be able to tell that despite it would breach out the back of the hull of the ship, it would dissipate before it got in contact with the Kraken.
Perfect.
The Kraken is not in range. Barely.
Since I accidentally hit it, I would like to use my fire breath. So it's a DC save of 15.
Okay.
And I believe it's Dex.
Yep. How do you want to incinerate these people?
Huh?
How do you want to burn these people? Describe their deaths to me.
So she's well, all 4 of them are just absolutely stunned of the giant tentacle that's outside. And so, but breaking her stun probably quicker than them, she's going to put both of her hands on the bars on the outside and just breathe deep, and you just see her chest like expand to the point that she actually hits the bars, and that's what pulls their attention to her because her scales make the ding noise against the bars. And as soon as they turn, she just it just shoots out like a giant breath of fire all over them, and they just dissipate into ash.
I love it.
And then, so that's my action. That's my attack. I would like to use a bonus action to down one of the healing potions I have.
Sure, go for it. Next.
That's 2d4 plus 2. Oh, God. I mean, it's better than nothing. And then I would head back upstairs.
Okay.
If there's no other guys
yeah,
here.
you almost bump into some of the sailors that came running down to help you out, but as soon as you were coming up, and do you tell them anything or just kind of run past them?
Flames broiled downstairs if you're hungry, and then I run past them.
Nice. Okay. Next up is the captain. Oops, I did the wrong map. So the captain is wounded. He's fallen to a knee. He's got one of their spears in hand. He's just going to make another attack on them. Will someone please roll a 1d20 for the captain? Okay. So even though they rolled a 4, he is low, and he is not able to fell any more of these Gith. Naru. Actually, I don't think there's the other sailors here would probably run down to help with Ciara. And then Ciara also gets to attack. So Ciara's going to make her 3 attacks. The other guys are going to make their attacks. Doesn't look like any of those are going to hit. Next up is going to be Naru.
How many people are by the captain right now?
There are 5 left.
I'm going to ask real quick. Ciara, who can steer this ship?
Ciara would just immediately answer. What would she answer? She thinks about it, and it's like, the first mate is, and then she realizes that the reason you're asking, he's probably dead, and she says, I can do it.
I'll take care of these. You go get us out of Dodge. And I use my burning. I direct it to where it only hits the bad guys.
Yes, you can.
Burning hands, and this is going to be my one I get per long rest.
Okay, and they both fail their saves, it looks like.
Yes, they have to make a range spell attack. They're not range spell attack. A dexterity saving throw. 86. Oh, that was beautiful. Did you see that roll?
Yes. Okay,
Buffy.
because of the natural full damage, I'm just gonna say you kill all of them. You just incinerate them. No, these are the guys that actually have like full stats and everything, but we're so close to being done, we're just gonna kill them with that. That's too awesome.
Right after that, I'm going straight over to the captain, and I'm going to use my quicken spell. I'm counting here in my paper. And I'm going to do a firebolt on one of the 5. And I 20 range spell attack plus 7, so
Yep, that'll hit.
15.
So you fry another one.
2d10.
There are 4 left.
And I get plus 3 damage to the individual one I just fried.
Yeah, so these guys over here, they're minions, so basically for stats wise they have 1 hit point, so you killed it.
Okay.
So that is Naru. Adrik.
I'm gonna move my character over.
So Adrik's coming over here, picking up another spear, and just gonna kind of quickly put that away briefly. And he puts his hands together, starting off with a bonus action of also burning hands.
So that
and he's gonna spend an extra 2 key points just to do just burning the rest of his key to do as much damage as he can. So that goes up to 5d6 fire damage.
Okay, so what's the dexterity save that they need to make?
Their dex save, let's see.
And then for your max damage thing, how many key points does that take?
So it's basically 2 key points to cast it plus each additional key point boosts the spell up by an additional level.
Okay, how many key points are you using for it?
So he's got a total of 4 key points left, so he's using that extra 2 to boost it by 2 levels.
Okay, so I'm gonna. You can add those key points at the +2 to your DC, because with minions it's basically pass or fail. So what is your
So it looks like it'd be a DC 15.
Okay, so that is going to have 2 failures then. So you fry 2 more of the Githyanki.
Let me go ahead and roll the Burning Hands.
Okay.
Let's see. That's 9 for the basic 3 plus additional 2d6.
So for that is an action to cast.
That's a bonus action.
Okay, so you have a movement. You can rest your movement and then still an attack.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So a total of 17 damage from Burning Hands.
Okay, yeah, you fry 2 of them.
How many are left?
2 left.
2 left. All right. Attacking with my sword.
You chop 1 more down. How do you want to kill it?
Just kind of like nice swing, takes off his head.
Okay, a decapitation always seems to work. Is that your turn?
And for my second attack, we're going to go ahead and use the spear we picked up. So that's 1d20 plus 7. She's nat 20.
Yeah, so you skewer this last one. How do you want to kill that one?
Basically just takes the spear and just literally brings it up into his chest, lifting him in the air.
Yeah, and he just crumples into a heap on the ground once you release it, and they're dead. It's a community effort to extinguish these Gith, with the exception of the Gith assassin, who is going to attack Nyx. He is going to do both of his attacks. He would have basically just his assassination dagger out, and he's just going to try to grab you when you're not looking. The first attack is an easy miss as he slips on some of the blood from the first mate's body, and he misses. Swings around, recovering, and takes an attack at you with a 21. Sorry, 22.
That's a hit, right?
Okay, and that is for 4 points of damage.
Yeah, my AC is 15. Okay.
So that wraps up their turn. Volac.
Ain't nobody messing with Nyx without me having an agonizing blast thrown at that person. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to hit him with some agonizing blasts.
Okay.
I hit him with one of them, I guess, right?
Yep.
17.
How do you want to kill him?
Oh, well, I haven't even rolled my damage yet.
Oh, I mean, I figured you're going to do at least 2.5 damage.
Oh no!
Do you have bonus?
Well, yeah, I do.
2.5 hit points.
I have 7 or 5 on, so it's 6.
Okay. Yeah, you crispify him.
Nice.
He swings at Nyx, draws a little blood, and then what?
The beam that I threw at him, like as he's like reaching back with both of his daggers, like it goes through both of his hands, and he just bleeds out.
Yeah. He just crumples down on the ground, out of sight to you, but Nyx, you basically watch him as the life fades from his eyes. With that, we are actually out of combat. The Kraken besides your ship is still present, writhing in the waves, creating this surf. You can see that actually the storm has immediately pretty much burned off as soon as the Kraken has appeared. The clouds have rapidly moved away, as if you had watched like a 24-hour time lapse. If you've ever seen those, the clouds just immediately like wither away, and the sun erupts from this into the sky, creating a beautiful day ahead of you. The Kraken just crunches this bulky ship into a very small ball just crunching repeatedly until it's disintegrated from your sight, and then it begins to submerge at the very last moment, when all is underneath the water except for its head. It just looks at you, and you see these massive eyeballs staring at the ship for a moment, and then it submerges and disappears from view.
Yeah.
And we are
Did I
out.
cast invisibility on the ship? Can I? Is the first mate? Sorry, the first mate that got killed.
The first mate is decapitated.
Oh, he's dead. I can't give him a healing potion and.
Try to pour it in his open wound.
What kind of damage do these spears do again?
They're 1d8 plus 1d6 lightning.
Okay, so it is straight up 1d8 plus the lightning.
Correct.
Because he is grabbing one of, like, he's basically holding on to one of these.
Yeah, for sure. They're littered throughout the area if you wanted to obtain one.
Yeah. He will even, like, grab some for the rest of the party.
Yeah, so in the aftermath, what are people doing?
I'm
So
checking
Adrik-
on the captain.
Yeah, the captain is bleeding from multiple wounds, probably dozens of wounds. These pinpricks all over his chest, just oozing this red liquid. He seems to be panting a little bit, but he rises to his full height, raises his saber up in the air, and just lets out an immense roar, this sharkish howl into the air. And the crew pretty much all starts to cheer as he shouts, "Victory!"
We need to get some healing on this guy.
Yeah. Did I offer him a healing potion?
I can walk down to the captain.
I'm already down there. I just kind of
Oh.
land and hand him one of my healing potion and go cheers, and I down one of mine and I give him the other.
Yeah, you just kind of like swipe it out of your hand, pop the cork up into the air, and just drink the liquid with one big gulp.
That does 2d4 plus 2.
Hi, so Naru, you're giving him the potion. Next, did you say you're going to come down as well over to where the captain is, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna check on everybody, see how Volac's doing, see how Naru's doing. Not sure where everybody else is. Is Adrik and Tabby still on deck?
Yes.
Do you want to go back to the deck page?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Just want to make sure if anybody needs any healing.
Oh.
My rage has stopped. So if something were to come out of nowhere, I wouldn't exactly be in the best condition.
You have multiple rages.
That's fine.
So yeah, the crew seems to be like beaten pretty badly, but they're all like cheering, raising their hands up into the air as Captain Scrag shouts victory. He grabs the potion, drinks it. Everybody starts to congregate. Adrik is kind of pilfering through the corpses on the ground, retrieving some of these spears.
Yeah, do they have anything valuable? That's a great question.
I will roll an investigation here.
Yeah, Naru, if you want to as well.
Apparently he's more focused on the spears right now. Because these are like very nice weapons he can pass on to the party.
Yeah. I don't see
Volac
anything
and
other-
Naru, what's your bonuses?
I don't have any bonuses.
Volac?
But I'm checking those soldiers that I singed with my flaming hand, so I did max damage, so I'm not surprised if I don't find much that isn't flammable.
Yeah, I don't have any bonuses to investigation.
Okay, so you both rolled 12s. Hold on to find their stat block. I went away from it. So you have, you find that they have these kind of saber-like blades. They don't really seem to be necessarily anything out of the ordinary, but their spears are definitely all imbued with this electrical magic, where they'll do, again, it's 1d6 extra lightning damage. Additionally, they have very otherworldly armor, but it's made out of kind of like an adamantine or steel. They are basically half plate stats, but they're all Githyanki military armor. Other than that, if you start to examine some of the bodies, they seem to have identification necklaces of some sort, kind of on this chain link necklace with two little tags with some sort of alien-looking numbers or prints on them. They all have matching gear, matching outfits. Everything else looks to be like an issued military outfit that they have. No wealth that you can see, no coin purses. They all have just those two weapons, and that seems to be about it besides their armor.
Tabby's gonna nudge Naru and Adrik and point to where the Kraken had completely destroyed the other ship and say, "That's what happens when you don't pay the toll."
And I'm gonna say, and it was a very confusing foretelling from Volac. I thought we were supposed to fire at the one in the sea and avoid the one in the clouds. Somehow it just seemed a little reversed.
To me, someone want to throw me in the ocean?
In the background, you would actually see Captain Scrag throws one of the bodies into the ocean, but it's one of the Githyanki bodies. And Volac, you would recognize it very much like with your vision that you had seen, except it's not Nyx, it's the Githyanki.
Well, that's actually nice though, right?
Volac, you need more. What's the word I'm thinking of? Discernment with your visions.
Hey, the old gods aren't very clear a lot of times, all right? They kind of just, I don't know.
Adrik will bring over the bundle of spears he's collected to the rest of the party and offer it to the others. Like one to Tabby, one to Naru, and so on.
Okay.
A spear, and it gives plus.
I just call it a lightning spear. It's just like 1d8 damage plus 1d6 lightning.
Yep. And again, it does look rather otherworldly. It looks like it's been manufactured in not like a blacksmith making it by hand, but like crafted from basically like a machine factory or something. It's very otherworldly compared to anything else you've seen.
So how many spears in total did we find left over?
Gosh, there'd probably be something like as you go through the ship, you'd probably be able to retrieve something like 35 of them or something like that.
Then he would definitely like bundle them up and just like sling them across his back in the bundle. He would also offer one to Boros, one to the captain, and one to the female orc, who is the second mate, and just like tell them trophies of today's victory.
Yeah. So
Them out to the whole crew.
The other ones, they all start to grab them, and then the captain, as you are having the bundles, he says, "Y'all can keep one, and hand out one out for each of the crew. It's only fitting everybody splits the loot on this."
He nods and just kind of starts handing out the spears to each of the crew.
Yep. You see a lot of them start.
How much of the crew remained after that battle anyway?
So they probably took losses of probably about 30 crew members. So they're probably down to about 40 people left on the ship, if I remember the numbers that I'd put down.
I'm really proud of the damage I did on that main vessel.
That was amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
Yep. So in the aftermath, as things are settling down, CR is basically assigned to get the ship back on course. The group's Boros is kind of like the next running up second mate who gets promoted, and he is in charge of damage control and getting the hull patched up, and then kind of cleaning up the deck. And the captain,
I can do some mending on any sails that need sewing.
yeah, he
I'm gonna-
definitely asks you to go up and do that.
I'm going to pick up Spike and I'm going to take it over to whoever's doing mending and say, do you think you can fix him?
I mend Spike. Can I mend Spike?
So I'm gonna have you roll actually a sleight of hand check, or if you really want to use medicine, I think I would allow that because that'd probably be the traditional one. But I think sleight of hand is a little bit more appropriate because he's a mechanical being, and you can roll with
spell
advantage.
repairs a break or tear in an object you touch, including a broken chain link, 2 halves of a broken cloak.
Yep. So I'll let you get advantage for using mending as a magical assistance.
Adrik will try to assist here.
She already has advantage.
Okay, what was your bonus?
I have a +1.
13. So you're having difficulty kind of getting it to work. It's very fine, like wiring and kind of you can solder the metal to back together where it's been bent and broken, and you're able to kind of fix that. But what it kind of comes down to is his core mechanics. Adrik, you kind of come in and what's your background? Have you seen anything like this before? Do you think, or what would give you?
Let me see. His background is. Let's see. He is an urchin for his background, but he does have some carpenter's tools. I don't know if that will assist any.
Yeah, not really. So it's maybe, I guess, just luck of the draw that you happen to come across the right things. It's not so much that you've had experience with Modrons before, but you're just able to put 2 and 2 together, and you kind of start to hook things up.
I feel like he's probably dealt with some kind of electrical stuff as an urchin, either stealing it or just hot wiring things or something.
So you're able to get things kind of hooked back together. He doesn't come back alive, but he's repaired as far as you can see. And so the spear wound that skewered through him, you were able to remove that, and between Naru and you're able to kind of get everything back to functioning the way you think it's supposed to be. But
I don't think it was a spear that hit him. It was a cannon.
It was a ballista.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he'd been skewered by a ballista bolt, a flaming ballista bolt. So you're able to repair him, but he does not come back alive.
No, Spike! And I hug him.
I'm going to try thing. Adrik is going to take the lightning spear and gently touch it to Spike. Trying to
Spike, and I start smacking.
Just roll
With
a 1d100 for me. That's I didn't expect you to do that. Let's see if it works. Yeah, 25%.
8?
Nope. Nope, it just kind of lightly zaps it, leaving this kind of mark, which Naru would probably quickly mend off of him again, just kind of cleaning the paint. But he doesn't doesn't come awake.
Can I try, because I have such a love for this little robot?
Okay, what are you gonna try that's different, or what's your background that you would know about, kind of what to do?
Oh, I'm just gonna do exactly what Adrik did, and I'm gonna take the spear and say, "Live, damn you!" and then I'm gonna poke him with it.
Roll your 1d100.
25.
Nope, same thing, just this little mark.
It was worth a shot.
Can I? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, gnomish engineering, maybe.
Oh, now we're talking. Roll a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
trying to start a.
So is that a 1d20?
Yeah, just 1d20 plus sleight of hand.
Oh, natural 20.
So you
Sorry.
hear this, "Live, damn you!" and she zaps him, and then Naru's. I can imagine Naru's kind of like calling him back, like, "No, stop hurting him!" and like mending off this scorch mark. And then Volac kind of comes over, kind of sees what's going on. And Volac, you haven't really talked to Spike. You didn't ever have any interactions with him, but you're like,
No.
"Oh, it's a Modron. Come on, guys!" And then you kind of reach inside his core, where his hollowish head, but where the spinning brain is, and you just reach inside and you just flick the switch. And then his eyes flicker, and then it begins to whir and click, and then you hear that kind of, for anyone who remembers the old computer boot up, the and then he begins to float again, and he looks around and says, "What have you done to the ship? It looks like a disaster here."
Spike, you
Yeah.
missed it. Why weren't you looking? You're supposed to be on lookout.
And the camera pulls back as we all laugh.
Yeah.
Actually, I hug Volac and say, I forgive you for being confusing.
Thank you.
Okay. So, in conclusion for this adventure, as you guys,
Did you ask about the undead below deck?
well, so far nobody
Doesn't matter.
has.
Spike lives.
Well, I don't want to give away that I've been down there.
So,
Tabby
Exactly.
should ask
Tabby
about
can,
it.
though.
Tabby went down there to take care of the invaders, so she is the safest person to ask about it.
We saved his life too, so I don't know why he would lie to us or not give us a straight answer.
Tabby's not going to ask. Respect to the job.
yep. So, if nobody's gonna ask, we're just gonna finish up with the narrated ending.
Nope. She's not going to ask. Not her place.
Of course not.
Nope.
Okay. Any other takers?
Adrik's not touching that one.
Okay. All right. And Nyx and Volac. No, everybody. Okay. So the rest of the day is filled with work. There are many burials at sea, as several of the crew was lost. Captain Scrag basically says a prayer up to the sea gods that he worships, and wishes their souls peace in the afterlife, and then the bodies are basically memorialized and thrown overboard into the great ocean. Everybody is tasked to repair the rigging, the sails, the deck, retrieving all the bodies of the Githyanki, to which those are unceremoniously just dumped overboard.
And mending has come in handy after many years of destroying things. Learning this by necessity is definitely very useful.
Yeah.
By necessity.
Yeah, absolutely. Spike goes pretty much immediately up to the crow's nest to where he has been repaired, and he is now back on duty. And then he basically comments on how terrible the ship looks and how poorly people have done their jobs in the previous day, and how luckily the storm is over. And then he just goes back to observing the cloudless horizon. Ciara is promoted to first mate, and as such is tasked with steering the vessel and navigation. She doesn't look to be terribly thrilled about that. And Nyx, she would pull you up to kind of hang out with her up in the piloting area of the ship. And if you will accept, she's going to have you. She's going to defer the steering of the ship to Nyx.
Oh, yes!
So,
Ooh.
Nyx, let me see skills again. This is one of my downfalls. I never can remember all the actual skills.
Performance.
Okay. I don't think there actually is necessarily a ship's handling.
There is for a water vehicle.
Yeah, it's not listed on the character sheet, but basically you can gain proficiency with ship's vehicles or water vehicles. She basically teaches you how to own the ship. If you
What I imagine here is like a parent that doesn't like driving, so they have their kid with the permit drive the whole time.
basically, and I would be not surprised if there wasn't quite a bit of flirty healing as she shows these chest wounds to Nyx and asks for healing magic. Then
We're gonna cure wounds all over that.
Captain Scrag descends to his cabin once things are kind of rolling back, and he basically is going to disappear for a while, as he is going to try to essentially take his own long rest and heal up. Boros and the crew, they're hard at work. Volac, you are you, Adrik, and Tabby are pretty much just assigned to assistance with like cleaning the ship of all the bodies and cleaning, repairing the woodwork and everything. The day is long, and you all earn a long rest at the end of the day, which you can take in your bunks or wherever you wish to be. Everybody will basically regain everything. Not that it's really going to be required for the rest of the adventure, but you're back to full health.
I'm gonna sleep with Spike in the crow's nest because I miss him.
Okay. He greets you rather botheredly and then says, "Fine, you can assist me with keeping watch, even though I require no assistance."
Last time, you did not see the ship that descended upon us, and you got hit. You didn't see that.
I have
We
no
are-
recollection of this. You must be making up stories.
I am not. Do you see that big mess? Do you think we just had a party and it happened?
Yes,
This is because we didn't see it.
it is clear that there was some chaotic party involving those weird aliens, but luckily the captain was able to save us.
You did not see the aliens coming for us. Then the Kraken came out of nowhere. And did you see the Kraken? No.
There is no Kraken. There is a Kraken, but it is not here.
As you ask anybody, ask the captain. He did not lie to you. You need to look instead of not looking. I'm just kind of having a
Yeah, it carries on. He doesn't seem
Rent.
to have any recollection of what happened. And then down in the berth, you all kind of take a long rest in the morning. There's more work to do and everything. But around lunchtime, the captain comes up and basically gives a double ration of food, booze, and promises everybody for their valiant efforts. There will be a double payout for their wages for this trip, which, for those who don't know, you would be getting 300 gold pieces for this voyage, which is now doubled to 600 gold pieces. And that's above normal range for the pay. This is a high-paying job that they have taken, and so basically everybody's getting quadruple pay for what they normally would have for this voyage. So the crew is very happy. The next couple days go by relatively quieter until the Nyx, since you are the one piloting the ship, Ciara instructs you to veer off to one of the islands.
Real quick, since you said things are quieter, we're gonna see if Adrik's singing has improved at all.
It has actually. It's passable. You're not driving anybody crazy.
I'm gonna back up sing from the crow's nest.
Spike, you can hear Spike's voice carry out across the deck. Please shut up. You are disturbing my work duties.
I have bonuses, but that's just so great.
So, so Ciara instructs Nyx, you're to go off to one of the islands, which is barely noticeable on the map, but it's definitely veering off course from where you are scheduled to be going.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I
I
do
presume
so.
you do so. Okay. You approach an island Ciara is furiously looking over these maps, trying to get everything right because she's still not used to doing her job. But she navigates you through these. So she navigates you through these reefs, which would normally tear apart any ship. But you're able to clear the reefs. And up ahead, you see.
I think we are.
You see a citadel fortress standing above, with a light burning at the top of a lighthouse, and you see from the battlements rows and rows of spears as orcs patrol the battlements. Your
Hold
ship.
up, where are we?
I think I know where we are.
The ship comes up to a hole in the rock. It's basically like a cove, and there's all the seas are much like they're quieter seas. There's no waves or anything. You're able to get into this cove easily, and the ship moors up against this dock. At which point, these rows and rows of orc soldiers send out ropes to the ship for you to moor up against it, and then the crew begins to haul out all of the zombie cages, at which point they're not really trying to hide them from you at all. But you witness these cages being dragged up with, they've been covered at this point, but you can definitely hear the zombies inside. And they are being offloaded down to these orc soldiers, which are all armed to the teeth. I think you're muted.
At this point, I would, because I hadn't seen anybody till now. At this point, I would ask like if there's somebody of the top three. Have you been carrying those the whole time? What if they got loose?
Who would you be asking this to?
Let me roll a D.
Is it a crew or one of the NPCs?
It would be. If I see the captain, it would be the captain.
Okay. If you're asking that to the captain, he just kind of shrugs and he says, "A job's a job. We're getting paid very well for this. Just don't say anything to our client. I don't trust him." And as he says that, striding down the gangplank from the citadel down to where this wharf is, you see a orc chieftain with white face paint carrying the skulls of his enemies in this kind of staff, which has the 3 skulls. And the captain disembarks the ship and goes to speak with him.
It is exactly where I think it was. It is exactly where I thought. God damn it.
Yeah. So as you guys all watch from the ship, Captain Scrag begins to speak with Count Zaroff, the orc warlord, who's surrounded by hundreds of orc soldiers, all patrolling his battlements. The captain exchanges bags, chests of jewels and gold and payment as the zombies are all brought in, and then the second wagon full of these jails that you had seen previously. You hear cries from within as the voice of the snake-like princess, whatever she had called herself, is protesting over and over, and you hear the cries of a man shouting, "No, let us out!" Yeah, sorry, those are the girls downstairs.
Should I go put them in their room? Hold on.
Well, they're gonna just be loud in the background for now, I guess. So, 1 second, guys. Okay, so the exchange goes down smoothly unless anyone interrupts it. But then the captain, once the cargo is... What'd you say?
I'm tempted to try a thing.
No, just no.
But I'm just gonna let it go. They threatened to kill everyone aboard the ship, so I'm like, you know what? Just good luck with that. But
so the captain gains his treasure, retreats back onto the ship, the Hammerhead, which begins to immediately disembark. And the captain does not want to be anywhere near this island as long as he has to. But with his cargo now off the ship, they make their way back. Nyx, you pilot the ship back out amongst the reefs, this kind of zigzagging network of shallows that you're able to escape, and you return back to the open sea, where you have another 2.5 weeks of sailing back to the mainland.
If I may, I'm going to roll a history for Adrik to see if he might have recognized or know who the orc was.
Yeah, anybody can roll history if you want.
For Adrik.
Yeah, you do not recognize him.
Of course, it's that fucking island.
So, Oh, Nyx. So Nyx, you have lived in Cholt for the last whoever knows how long, however many months. And in doing so, being actually no, your tavern
I
used
grew
to
up
be
there,
there. You grew
actually.
up. You're from Cholt, so yeah, you would definitely know the histories of this kind of tropical region. You would recognize this warlord as it was years ago, probably 25 to 30 years ago. There was an orc um, war against the. Let's see, what was it? What was your character, Mckenzie? Was she a tiefling?
Tiefling, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was a
there
war
was
against
a
tiefling.
war between the orcs and the tieflings, and one of their more ruthless of them was the Count Zaroff. It was an orc warlord, a shaman of great power. And shortly before the war ended and truces occurred, the warlord had just vanished, and he had never been seen or heard from again, to your knowledge, until you have now just seen him. But the paintings that you have seen, the verbal histories that you've recorded as a bard, you definitely recognize him with his face paint and the three-skulled lantern-esque type of emblem that he carries. He definitely was the Count Zaroff, the warlord of the past.
Yikes.
You have no idea.
So,
And if you're interested in knowing, look up on YouTube the greatest game. The greatest game.
the most dangerous game, except part one's not on there because the audio didn't work, but part two is.
Ah.
So yeah, most dangerous game. Basically,
No,
he's
no, 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 no. Let them watch it. No.
Okay.
Because we do a recap at the beginning of it. Don't spoil it.
So,
let's just say with that island, Gilrith has acquired a very interesting weapon that he crafted himself.
Yep. So Naru, Tabby, Nyx, Volac, and Adrik. The rest of the voyage to get back to the mainland is fairly mundane. Unless you guys have anything else you want to do, the curtains on this adventure will close, and you will all live happily ever after until we see you at the next adventure.
Well, apparently he's putting on a hearty performance.
Yeah, Adrik, in his weeds, he learns to sing.
Despite
I like to think that's help from Nyx, telling him kind of some tips.
Yeah, this is a true arc. Oh wow!
I have decided I will also sing despite Spike's negativity.
Yeah, we had
Oh dang!
Who knew it was Spike
And
all along?
I have-
You're actually a
and I
natural.
have a +3 to performance.
Oh wait, I have plus.
Oh
I have
shit.
+5 to performance, so I'm at a 19.
I have my inspiration,
day.
so I have an 11 in total.
And I'm gonna juggle fire. I'm gonna juggle
Fantastic.
fire.
I'm
So-
playing my hurdy-gurdy.
So the curtains are going to close on our happy party of heroes, to them all playing music in the evening night, and with Naru juggling fire, singing with Adrik, Volac, and Tabby. Nyx, you're playing the most beautiful melody as you're singing the ballad of the cargo ship. And that's where we're going to end. And you guys all survived. Congratulations. I hope you guys all had fun. Thank you so much for playing. That was actually very enjoyable.
Thank you for.
Thank you. That was a
having
blast.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad nobody within the first mate.
All right. Well, I'm going to end the stream. If you guys want to hang out and chat a little bit after that, I'm totally down for that. But thank you so much for playing. Have a good day.